Like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show. Weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media. You don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead, hit that like button, because you already know what time it is. And you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do it well, but what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, today we're going to be back with another interesting topic. As we do all the time, we are going to deal with a Black father's first responsibility, y'all. Yep, that's what we're going to deal with. A Black father's first responsibility. Yes, because you have responsibilities before you have kids, and then you have responsibilities that come on after you have children. Okay, just certain things you got to add because you became a father. Okay, it is what it is. It's you became a father. Now, you did what you did. You're in the situation you're in. It's got to be dealt with. But before we go too far into that, first, let me take a quick moment and say, look, shout out to everybody who gives me consistent views at this channel. I do appreciate the loyalty, you know, because you could be anywhere else in the world doing all kinds of things, but you be rocking with me, and you be like, nah, let me go on over there to the Roger Report Live, because it's great over there. So let me go to where the greatness is, but you don't have to. So I appreciate you coming over here. And that's real talking. You're doing that on a regular basis, man. You are awesome. You are awesome. And you're helping me make the world a better place. And I definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Shout out to everybody who hypes me up every chance they get, y'all, because it's something you could do, but you don't necessarily have to do. But you know that's gonna help the channel grow, so you do it. So appreciate it, appreciate it, appreciate it. Also, shout out to everybody who leaves comments after the streams. This does make a difference to the algorithm. You know, the system likes to see some interactiveness. You don't have to do it, but you choose to do it, and that helps me out big time. Appreciate you, appreciate you, appreciate you. Okay, that is real talk. And there are people who hit that like button. Y'all be hearing me saying something about the like button here. Now I be trying to say something. I probably don't say nothing enough, but I be trying to. I definitely try to get better at saying something more because it is a big deal. And I appreciate everybody who takes the time out to do it because it does mean a lot to the channel. So thank you very much for everyone who does that, especially consistent. And remember, there's no bad time to do any of this stuff. If you leave in a comment and the stream been up 3 months, it don't make no difference. Just leave it. Okay? If you want to hit that like button, it's 6 months after the fact, do it anyway. Okay? If you want to hype me up, if they give you a chance to, I don't care if it's a yo. Man, do that thing anyway, man. Do it anyway. That's real talk. Take every opportunity to help. Okay, take every opportunity to help. That's what I'm gonna tell you. I ain't gonna tell you never to not help. So thank you to everyone who does do that. But yo, I gotta really, really, really say too, and give a thanks to everybody who gives financial contributions to the channel because y'all do allow me to do things that I just couldn't do without you. It's that simple at the end of the day. You know, don't even want to do it without you. So shout out to everybody who steps up to the plate, goes above and beyond, and become financial contributors to the channel. I appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. And that is real talk. And I got to also say thank you for, a special thanks goes out today because the financial contributors, yes, y'all, it shouldn't be a mystery. They become what we like to call the sponsor of the stream. So shout out to the today's sponsor of the show, Boycott. Shout out to Boycott. Thank you very much, y'all. Big or small, I do appreciate it all. Big or small, I do appreciate it all. So shout out to Boycott, who is the sponsor of today's stream. And let me give a few shouts out to some of the first people to check in this morning. It's always great that when you start a show that you got a few people checking in. And I'm going to say shout out to y'all today because I was doing stuff to the very, very, very last second and then put this show together and put it up because I didn't have a chance to do it last night. So I know, y'all was dead on it. Y'all was dead on it, and I appreciate that big time. And y'all know how it is, y'all. When you're first over here, we want to celebrate you a little bit, and we like to call that the Highlander of today's stream. So shout out to the Highlander of today's stream. My main man, Boot Camp, is in the building. He was dead on it, y'all. He was dead on it. Soon the show went up. Boom, there he was. Okay, soon the show went up, there he was. Shout out to you. Shout out to MJD. Appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Well, MJD the second. Okay, shout out to you big time. Shout out to Trail Billy. What's going on, my brother? Representing as he always does. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag Hell Hydra. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. My main man, Floyd Thompson, is here. What's going on, my brother? What's going on? Yay, yay. Always great to see you in the house. Always great to see you in the house. The Great Black Reset has pulled up to the cool table. Now we know everything's cool because the Great Black Reset has pulled up to the cool table. Afro Merchant is in the building. What's happening, my brother? What's happening? Yes, was good to see you. We got Eric M in the house. What's going on, my brother? Great to see you as well. Great to see you. Always glad to have you in the building. Family Business is here. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. All right, good to have you rocking with us. We got Devon Townsend in the house, y'all. Great to see you. Great to see you. And we got the one guy we all got to be a little bit afraid of. Even myself, y'all. We all got to be a little bit afraid of, y'all. Chef Mike's Roundtable is in the building, representing for himself and the pit crew. Okay, y'all. They do a lot of great work over here at the Roger Report Live. They keep us in order. Even me, y'all. Even me. I allow them to keep us in order because, hey, unbiased, good people, I let them do their thing. Shout out to you, y'all. Shout out to y'all. And y'all, I had to put it up fast. I ain't going to say I rushed this, but I had to put it up fast. Okay? Because there's things that we're going to talk about time and time again on this particular channel, y'all. We going to nail certain things because as Black men who live in America, we got to move a certain way. These things can help people sometimes living in other places. But if you're not in America, you got to measure out how you want to use this information to make it work well for where you happen to live. So shout out to all my people living around the world. And I definitely appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Shout out to Superstar Jay Quick. What's good, my brother? What's good? I see you coming on through the door. Great to have you. Great to have you, y'all. And I want y'all to really start thinking about this in certain ways. So, it clicks more for yourself. It clicks more for your son. It clicks more for your grandson. It clicks more for your nephew. It clicks more for your friends. It clicks more for your friends that are so close, they like family. It clicks more for the stranger on the street that you may had a conversation with here or there. It clicks more for all the brothers around you. Okay? A Black father's first responsibility. Okay? Because you had responsibility before you became a father. Once you become a father, there's just added weight. Just is what it is. That's the life of a Black man. Once you become 18, weight hits your shoulder. As you go up and grow older, more weight hits your shoulder. Once you become a father, more weight hits your shoulder. And it ain't nothing to us. We got big shoulders. It is what it is. We got some big shoulders. All right. Now, there's a lot of information out there. Well, a lot of propaganda, actually. Not really real information, but there's a lot of lies out there about Black men being fathers. Okay, there's a whole lot of lies out there. We have to fight through all that stuff, y'all. And we don't get to make excuses, y'all. I ain't gonna teach on this channel that excuses mean anything, because they don't. They worth 2 dead flies, okay? They worth 2 dead flies. That's it. Okay? Whatever you can get for 2 dead flies, that's what you can get for an excuse. And we gotta remember that. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you again and again, Black men, we got to look both ways before we cross the street. Okay? They ain't gonna treat us like they treat other people. And that's something we have to remember. All right? And when you gotta treat other people the way Black men are treated, don't feel bad. You just helping us get closer to an equal society. you just helping. You helping people find a way to do better with an equal society. So don't you feel bad at all. Don't you feel bad at all. All right. Now, all right. Let me get this out the way, y'all. All right. Shout out to Bruce on Wayne, y'all. Shout out to Bruce on Wayne. He done did it, y'all. He ain't waste no time. You know what? I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. He ain't waste no time, y'all. It took a little bit of work and it took a little bit of time. But that super chat is finally on, okay? Or for y'all who see it as the same channel, even though I done lost multiple channels, the super chat is back in some of y'all minds, okay? Even though it's the first time it's on this particular channel, the super chat is back. Bruce on Wayne done took advantage of it. He the first one to get it in, so shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you, my brother. He says, this ninja monetized again? Hey, YouTube, come get this ninja. He out here wilding out. He out here wilding out. Hashtag Kryptonian Empire. Excuse me. Kryptonian Emperor Supreme Dessalines. Okay. Hashtag young and noble. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. Appreciate it. And shout out to the Great Black Reset. He says, yeah. Appreciate you, my brother. Real talk. Interesting first super chat, y'all. And a shout out to the second one supporting the first one. I appreciate it, brothers. Appreciate it. Okay. But y'all keep in mind that Cash App is still available and it's still welcome. Okay. It's still available and still welcome. So, real talk. And I appreciate everybody who supported me and every way they did it. And that's real talk, y'all. So we gonna keep it moving, y'all. We gonna deal with a black man's first responsibility. But before, we gotta say shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast. He says in the super chat as well, congrats and good morning. Yes, brother. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it. It's been a battle. I had to do a couple of things here and there, some little extras here and there. But we finally got it happening. Y'all. Finally got it happening, okay? They had Roger sit down over here and here, reading like it's almost like it's my first time. It's like I had to do it for the first time all over again, y'all. Real talk. You don't know. But hey, it's working now, so we good. All right? So, we got to look at this, y'all. A black father's first responsibility, okay? Because it is what it is, all right? Now, this is the thing. When it come down to it, oh, Lord have mercy. Did they change something, y'all? Now my stuff ain't acting right. I can't see what I need to see. Luckily, I got multiple devices. And I'm gonna see stuff anyway. Shouldn't have to do all this, but hey, we gonna make it happen however it's got to happen. Okay? And that's real talk. We gonna make it happen however it's got to happen. I just like stuff to be smooth sometime. Shout out to Bad Black Gamer. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, my brother. He says, Roger, right? And you back. Hey, thank you, brother. Thank you. Real talk, man. Real talk. Thanks for rocking with me all this time. I got a few brothers who've been rocking with me from one channel to the next. Y'all, hopefully this is going to be the last one that I got to do. Then hopefully we're going to be able to maintain this one and let it keep going the way it should go. That's what I'm hoping for. Real talk. Okay, but shout out to Bad Bad Gamer. Thanks for being with me, brother. Thanks for being with me. All right. Now, again, there's a lot of propaganda out there about black men and what they're going to do, when it comes to being fathers and things like that. That's going to be out there. We can't stop other people from misrepresenting us. That's just a reality we got to face. We cannot stop other people from misrepresenting us. All we can do is tell the truth. Now, that part we can't handle. We can't control what they do, but we can control what we do. Okay? We can control what we do. Now, when it comes down to it, no matter how great we are, they still give us a bunch of guff. Black men are clearly the best fathers America has to offer. And see, when you think about that, all you got to do is be logical. The only reason we're the best fathers America has to offer is because we're the best men America has to offer. You don't get the best fathers without being the best men. Okay? We take stuff a little bit differently than other people. We're more serious about it. Things matter to us more. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. That's the way we should be. It's nothing wrong with us being the leaders. All right? Okay, even from a group standpoint. There's nothing wrong with us being the leaders as long as we're leading in something positive. So when it comes down to it, black men, we've been the best fathers. Let's just keep that real. We've been the best fathers. It's just the government finally had to acknowledge it at some point, or they found out about it when they wasn't looking to find that out. Let's just keep it real. They wasn't looking for that information. It just happened to come up that way. Okay. So now they can't even really deny what we got going on. Okay. So it is what it is. All right. Now, this is the thing, y'all. When you become a father, you got to deal with the fact that you got these extra responsibilities now. And when you have these extra responsibilities, there's decisions we have to make, and they're going to be some tough decisions. And sometimes you are concerned with how other people are going to take these decisions, which is natural, y'all. You know, some of us will view us, even though it ain't true, they will view us because they out of order. They're going to view us as being rebellious. That's what they're going to do. They're going to review us as being rebellious. Are we being rebellious? Absolutely not. We're just doing what we're supposed to do. So what is a black father's first responsibility? Now, I am not finna sit here and say other people have to do this. Okay. I'm not going to say it's necessary for them. But if we're going to be realistic, what is a black father's first responsibility? And you know what? Hold on real quick, y'all. Because this thing as soon as the super chat come on, stuff ain't acting right. Okay, I'm just gonna say stuff ain't acting right. So let me all right, y'all, they knocked me out for a second. I got knocked out for a second myself, but I say stuff is not acting right. So I do not have the controls I'm supposed to have right now. Okay. Hopefully, maybe me getting knocked out and coming back in. Hopefully that helps out a little bit. Hopefully that helps out. All right. Boom. Shout out to Bucket. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, my brother. Shout out to Bucket. Bucket says, appreciate the show and your work. Salute. Well, salute to you as well, my brother. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Appreciate you big time. You know, thanks for rocking with me. And that's real talk. Y'all, and y'all forgive me, okay, because I'm definitely having some issues going on back here already. You get your super chat back first day, and then you got other problems going on. So it is what it is. I'm gonna make it do what it do. I'm gonna make sure I get this done the best I can. Real talk, okay. So I do apologize for anything that happens because it ain't working as smoothly. All right, that seems to be doing it. Okay, this seems to be a little bit better, a little bit better. All right, shout out to apologizing ahead of time. Well, should I just call you Sarah? All right, shout out to you, Sarah. Appreciate you. She drops in, y'all. Okay, she just drops in. Nothing to say. She just dropped a little money, and I appreciate it. And I noticed the 56 cents. So not only is she, I guess you know, I'm gonna put that toward the trail Bentley tax as well. So shout out to you, sister. Shout out to you. Okay. Appreciate you. Real talk, y'all. Appreciate you. That's real talk, y'all. I'm just trying to make sure I got everybody super chat in. Because like I said, y'all, the system ain't working as smoothly as I'm used to. There it is. Shout out to Yo from Florida. Okay. Shout out to Yo from Florida. Appreciate you, my brother. He comes through with the super sticker. All right. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Thanks for the love. Real talk, y'all. All right. Hopefully we got this back in order. All right, y'all. Now I'm going to say, y'all, we have a lot of responsibilities that come to us as black men, but we got to start talking in a way that black men get it on a regular basis. What are black men's first, when you become a father, what is your first responsibility? Because there's many responsibilities we're going to have to deal with. But what's the first one we got? Okay? It's not the one that you probably thinking. You know, people have a lot of I'm sure people gonna have a lot of ideas of what our first responsibility should be. But because of how our government is, because of how the people who live in this country is, how people look at things, okay? Shout out to Afro Merch. He said, "You forgot my super chat, Roger. Don't be a sucker." With a hard ER on it. He got a hard ER on there. Okay, let me make sure, brother. As I said, I was having some issues. So hopefully we get it back right. Hopefully we get it back right. And y'all, I think he just messing with me. He's okay. You got me, brother. You got me. That's all I'm gonna say. You got me on that one. But I appreciate you. All right, y'all. Let me get to our first responsibility. But you know what? I do have a guest, y'all. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Don't tell me, because I see Chef Mike saying, I think he got erased from okay, I think he got erased from his device. Don't tell me I missed something for real, y'all. Don't tell me I missed something for real. Okay, I hope he was just getting me. And I ain't missed nothing for real. Y'all, but I'm gonna say, and we gotta take this real seriously, y'all. We gotta take this real seriously. Our first responsibility is making sure the child is yours. Yes, that's what I'm gonna say, y'all. It's a lot of things that go along with being a father. But your first responsibility is making sure the child is yours. Now, I understand that there's some people out there, and y'all really do believe stuff gonna work out and things just gonna be okay. And I think a lot of people will get behind the idea. I ain't saying it's gonna be enough people to make it happen in all places, but there will be some brothers who get behind this mandatory DNA testing. Okay? I'm never going to get behind that. I would never trust this particular government, okay, to tell me who my baby is. Because this government like lying to us. And that's just real talk, y'all. This particular government, it loves lying to black men. It loves lying on black men. It's like the same attitude the women got. They want to lie to us and they want to lie on us. This particular government does the same things. Okay? This government hates black men. Okay, and there's plenty of ways that you can see the hatred of black men when you look at the different things that this government does. This government hates black men. And that's just as real as it gonna get. Okay? That's just as real as it gonna get. All right. Shout out to Trail Bentley. He says your first responsibility is this money, Raj. Hey man, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. And I'm doing everything I can to make sure I'm handling it properly. I'm doing everything I can to make sure I handle it properly. Okay. Because I went, Afro Merchant had me looking for stuff that didn't even happen. Okay. That's how much responsibility I'm taking. He had me looking for stuff that didn't even happen. Okay. And that's real talk. But y'all, our first responsibility, we got to make sure that kid is ours. There's a lot of things that happen amongst black folks in America. And you got to decide which community you're going to belong to. There's two major subsections of the black community in America. It's your decision which one you're going to be in. Now, there's people like me, respectable, functional, excuse me. And the respectable, functional, and productive black men who believe in black men's leadership. Our wives and the children that live in our home. Now, we welcome people to join us. You just got to fit into the mold to join us. But there's another community out there that is anti-family, dysfunctional, single mother community people. Okay? Yes, there's anti-family, dysfunctional, single mother community people. See, that means children, that means men, and it means women. They're not pro black progress. They're not pro good things for black people. They're pro white supremacy in a whole lot of ways, whether they realize it or not. They are pro black people suffering because they do the things deliberately to make black men suffer. Just is what it is. Okay. Which makes other people suffer. Because when you make a black man suffer, then you make black women suffer. When black men suffer and black women suffer, the kids gonna suffer. It's just a domino effect. You know, I'm not saying everybody does it knowingly. It doesn't make a difference whether you know or not. It's about what you're responsible for. And it just is what it is. Okay. Now, I got a guest back here, so I got to get him up. Okay, even though I didn't really monologue the way I wanted to because the system was going on. Then we got the super chats back in, but it's all good. You know, at least we got them back. At least we got them back. Sometimes it ain't smooth on your first day out. It'll get smoother later. Okay, but I'm saying, y'all, our first responsibility of black men is to make sure the child is actually ours. Because this is what we really need to do, y'all. Not for the sake of adults, for the sake of the children. Okay, for the sake of the children, we need to make sure that baby gets to its real family. Okay, that's what we need to do. Make sure that baby can make a connection with his real family. That baby needs to know his real daddy. Okay, that baby needs to be part of its real family. Okay, that baby needs to know anybody on his daddy's side. Okay, it's people that grow up and they got total disconnections from people that would have been a great part of their life. You know, it's people who grow up, you know, something happens at a hospital, you know, a son trying to give blood to help a father out, and they say, oh, no, we need a biological son. Okay, we appreciate you doing what you're doing, but we need a biological son. And they sitting there like, no, I am his biological son. No, you're not. No, you're not. Ain't no way in the world you his biological son. Okay. Or same thing. You got a father trying to help his child. You know, he willing to do what, you know, like daddies do. Okay. A black dad, he gonna do what he can to save his son. Oh, he needs some blood. He need a kidney. What he need? Okay. Give him mine. All right. Well, we got to run you through this test first. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Let's get it going. Let's get it cracking. They do it. Boom. Look, sir, we appreciate your enthusiasm, but we need a biological father. I am his biological father. No, you're not. No, you're not. Ain't no way in the world you coming up like this and you his biological father. You know you're not. Now, it's some rough ways that black men had to find out that the children they believe are his don't even belong to him. So, I mean, you took on responsibility you didn't have to. I ain't gonna shame no man for taking on some responsibility because we don't have to do it. If we do it, we do it. We shouldn't be tricked into it. But at the end of the day, if you truly love a child, to truly love a child, making sure he with the right family is part of the package. Okay? We're not gonna play out here, y'all. We're not gonna say we love kids, but we ain't gonna feed them. We ain't doing stuff like that. Okay. No, I love my kids, but I won't put clothes on their back. No. Not no small children who can't take care of themselves. Okay. No. You got to do what you're supposed to do as a dad. And as a dad, unfortunately, the first responsibility you need to take on is making sure that baby gets to its right family. Because if you don't take that responsibility on, that kid can be 29 when something get critical. And now y'all got a real problem. A major problem, and you could have solved it somewhat easily, but now you can't because y'all don't have the proper information. And the real daddy may not even be alive anymore, or the real daddy may be out of state. The real daddy may have not been in contact with the mom for so long that child can't get no help. Now, how would you like to be? Let me read this first. Shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast. Appreciate your brother. He says, co-signing Afro Merchant. Said, let's go. Fire. Hey, appreciate that, brother. Appreciate you. And shout out to Afro Merchant who got me out here looking for stuff that didn't even happen. But hey, man, I appreciate you big time. So, y'all, when it comes down to it, think about this, y'all. You got a son who's 29 years old. For some of y'all, maybe it's your daughter. She's 29 years old. She's having a medical issue. You, as a black father, want to save your child. This is your baby girl, okay? But she's 29 at this point. You want to save your daughter. And then you find out you don't even have the ability to save your daughter because you're not her biological father. Now, as much love as you put toward her, at the end of the day, you know, maybe she dies. You know, because some stuff is extreme, y'all. Some stuff is extreme. And shout out to Afro Merchant. He said, shout out, Inspired Truth Broadcast. He said, you're rich now, Roger. Let me hold $5. Hey, brother, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know, holler at me after the show. That's what you do. Holler at me after the show. I can't let you hold $5 in front of everybody. Holler at me after the show. Can't do it in public. Can't do it in public. But y'all, what happens if they can't get the help that they would have been able to get if they known who their dad was? Now your quote unquote baby girl that you done loved all this time, now she ends up dead. Okay? Now she ends up dead. Why? Because now y'all don't know how to contact her actual father. Her actual biological father. You don't know how to contact him. Because you don't even know who he is. Okay? Mama ain't been in touch with him for a good period of time. Now baby girl dead. And that may sound rough to some people, but I'm just trying to be realistic about how things can go. Your first responsibility as a father is to make sure you know if that baby belongs to you. Because if that baby don't belong to you, that baby needs a chance to get with their actual father. And it's irresponsible for us as black men not to give these babies a chance. Now, I'm not saying people start having blood tests or DNA tests with folks that's 37, 38, 39. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is what we got to start doing for our newborns. Okay? This is what we got to start doing for our newborns. And we need to make sure we're doing this immediately. Okay? And we don't need the government all in our business. So, no, I ain't going to never be like, well, let's get it, let the government do mandatory. No, I'm never going to say do mandatory testing. Not this government. No, we better off doing it ourselves. I understand you're going to have to, get some bravery together to tell your wife, to tell your fiance, to tell your girlfriend, or just a baby mama that you gonna get this kid tested to make sure this baby is yours before you sign a birth certificate. I understand that's gonna be rough for some of y'all, but you a man, you gonna do what you gotta do. Okay, shout out to the Great Black Reset. He says Subway sandwich fun in full effect. Shout out to Subway, y'all. I'm gonna leave it. They don't have to endorse me. I need some bread. Okay? If we're gonna use that, I'm gonna need some bread from Subway. They don't have to come through with a check. Okay, real talk. But let me give the floor to my main man, Yo Mama Black, Uncle Ruckus.us. Heck of a name. But you have the floor, Yo Mama Black, Uncle Ruckus.us.
Good morning, Roger.
Good morning, brother. Good morning.
I heard that you got your little channel monetized again, huh?
we pushing forward, brother. We pushing forward.
Oh, don't worry. Enjoy yourself. It'll be over soon. Don't worry.
I'm definitely gonna try. Definitely gonna try.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Making all your jungle noise.
This is the last time we're going to do this, man. I'm telling you right now. I'm claiming it right now. It's the last time we're going to need to do this.
Bro, like I always say, they gave y'all Negroes your little Michael Jordan, your little Kobe Bryant, and now you're beating your chest that you're the best father. You want fatherhood too? They gave you a couple billionaires here and there, a couple millionaires here and there. Now you want fatherhood too? So you want to take the white man's spot? You want wives? It's not enough that they gave you a few 4 millionaires here and there. You gotta be the best fathers too. What is this? So now y'all telling these men not to take care of these not their babies. You do realize that you're hurting the Black community if you're telling men not to take care of children that aren't theirs, right? Huh? What are all these baby mamas gonna do? Huh? They can't keep eating Subways. Huh? Somebody got to take care of them kids, man. Yep. Y'all are giving up on the community. Y'all are turning your back on the community like that. Who gonna take care of them babies? All these algo babies. Who gonna take care of them? Come on, Roger. You're not serious. So this is the solution? DNA test to make sure that them little children all yours for real? Huh? You hate your mama, Roger? Y'all sound like you hate your mama. Man. I can't rock with you. You know? Y'all cannot kill the stepdaddy program like that, man. Who gonna do it? Who's gonna take care of all these children? Because you know Tyrone always gonna slide through and jump them, give them some good deed. You know Tyrone is going to get them pregnant at some point. You know Tyrone is not going to take care of them. Tyrone can take care of himself. Somebody's gonna have to take care of their children. Yeah. Eventually, the U.S. government is gonna run out of money. Who's gonna do it? If not you, poor suckers. I'm not doing it. Somebody gotta do it. And you out here telling these guys not to be stepdaddy. Roger, you're a fraud. You don't like the Black community. You're worse than the tatters. That's what I'm gonna
say. Is you finished? Or are you done?
Yeah. I'm finished, not done. I'll be back.
All right, y'all. I'm just gonna say, you never know what crazy thing gonna be said over here at the Roger Report Live. Cause I ain't said nothing about a stepdaddy at all. All I said was we need to make sure these kids have access to their real daddies. That's all I've said. Okay? That's all I said. And you know what? Ain't nobody gonna make me feel bad for saying that these children need to have access to their real daddy. No, I am not gonna feel bad about that. No, I will not, sir. No, I will not. And shout out to Afro National. He said, whether we all agreed or not, excellent show yesterday. Hashtag Subway Fun. Hashtag Rogers Bell Money. Well, I appreciate you for helping me be prepared, brother. I'll just say that. I appreciate you for helping me be prepared. It's good to have some bail money on you, whether you need it or not. Okay, whether you need it or not, it's just good to have. So shout out to you, my brother. Appreciate it big time. Appreciate it big time. Now, again, I said, no, these kids need to know who their real daddy is. All right. Now, whether you're going to be a stepfather or not, that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm telling you to do. But at least if you're going to be a stepdaddy, you should know you're a stepdaddy. Because let's keep it real. If you raise it, well, hold on, let me just say this. If you raise a kid that ain't yours, whether you knew it or not, you still a stepdaddy. So at least know that you're going to be a stepdaddy. But go ahead.
But Roger, even Keisha was going raw with 6 different guys. He doesn't know exactly who he is. You just happen to have a good job. You know what I mean? You have a 6-figure job. You make good money. You have a nice crib. You have a nice whip. You're qualified to be the daddy.
Okay, but I mean, let's think about that. Let's just say you had a woman who was dealing with 6 different guys. When is the best chance for her to connect that baby to its actual father? The best chance for her to do that is when that baby is first born. That's going to be her best chance to find out who that child's father actually is. So at the end of the day, whether even because you said he didn't know. Okay, let's take a man he ain't got no clue that she out here in the streets like that is him, and it's 5 other dudes that's taking her out and riding her out. Okay, cool. So now he gets to the hospital. She had a baby. He there. He being the proud daddy and all that type of stuff. He even cut the umbilical cord. And then he says, okay, well, we finna go get the child tested. And she said, what? Now, remember I told you when we first started kicking it, that if we have a child, I'm getting all my babies tested. Because this is when you're supposed to say this, y'all. Don't be no coward. Tell women at the very beginning, I'm having all my children tested. I don't care how long we together. I'm having all my children tested. So yeah, you take your baby to go get tested. Now, she may have an issue with that. Who cares? But maybe that's going to be his way of finding out that she's messing with all these other dudes. Because that baby may come back and not be his. Now, there's a chance it could be his. But if it come back that it's not his, what is her best time to connect that baby to his real father? When that baby is first born and there's a realization that that's not his child, and she having sex with these other men anyway, so she's at least connected to them enough where she can call. If we wait till the kid 5, if we wait till the kid 10, if we wait till the kid is 28, dude could be done disappeared at that point. No. If we love these children, we need to at least get them a shot at getting to their real dads. It's that simple at the end of the day.
Okay, but let me tell you this. So you're gonna embarrass Keisha like that? Have her running all over clinics with 5, 6 different guys to DNA test to find out exactly who the daddy is?
Who says she got to be embarrassed? Why can't she just take it like a champ?
That's embarrassing, Roger. So you're saying that Keisha, you're gonna have concrete proof that Keisha was out here in them streets getting rusty like that? You're not ashamed of yourself to embarrass your queens like that?
Hold on. Every woman has a right to choose to feel the way she want to feel about a situation. She don't need to be embarrassed. She can elect to be embarrassed, but she don't have to. That's a choice. See, a lot of people, we forget feelings are choices too. Now, we understand there's certain situations where most of us would choose to feel this particular way. But she don't have to be embarrassed. She can choose to feel something different. And that's on her. I am responsible for somebody else's feelings. Now, if I call myself being a good dad, I do have a responsibility of making sure this baby is mine, to make sure that the baby's with the right father. And just out of general love for the community, it's a responsibility of me to make sure this child at least gets a shot at getting to his right dad. Because what if I had a child and I find out the child not mine? How do I get this child a shot at getting to their daddy? Now, I can't guarantee the child gonna get to his daddy because it's not my kid. So therefore, technically, I'm out of it. Technically, I'm out of it at that point. It ain't my kid. But to get that kid a shot at getting to his real dad, or to get that kid a shot at getting to her real dad, we need to establish that the kid ain't mine. And now they got a shot. I did my part. See, we got to take our community responsibility just as serious as our personal responsibility, just as serious as our marital responsibility. I have a responsibility as being a productive, functional, respectable black man that believes in black man's leadership to make sure that I get a test so we know for sure if this baby belongs to me or if this baby needs to go find his daddy. That is my responsibility. So if you're gonna be up here trying to tell me to shirk my responsibility, I'm gonna look at you with a I'm gonna give you that side eye. That's what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna give you the side eye if you're telling me to disrespect the whole community by not taking on my responsibility the way I should. I'm gonna say shame on you for telling me to do that. And then I'm gonna give the floor to the great black reset since he done came up.
Yeah! Roger's back, baby. He back. Y'all hit the like button. Y'all hit the super chat. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Uh, I like to say getting our children DNA tested is now the official policy of the black men, and we are actually saving Keisha the embarrassment of not knowing who their uh, children's fathers are in precarious times. Why wait until your child needs medical attention? Why wait until your child needs certain things that is going to require a blood draw from the actual father and find out, oh, you made a quote unquote mistake. You didn't know that this was not the father. No, we are actually saving her from future embarrassment. That way, we know where all of our children belong. This is a magnanimous effort by black men to help save women from embarrassing themselves. This is charity, sir. This is charity. I can't help it they don't see it that way, but they will in time because we're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it anyway. We're good fathers, we're good men, and we just want to make sure that we're good fathers and good men to the right young men. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna land my plane right there.
Mm-mm-mm. Now, see, now I'm gonna say to have the weight on your shoulders of being a father, to not go see if this child actually belongs to you, that does relate to irresponsibility. Now, look, people in the past, they didn't know we needed to do this. But we do know it now. It is December of 2025. Years and years ago, men did not know that they need to have every child tested to see if it's theirs or not. They didn't know. Okay? If you my daddy's age, you Black Uru's age, you're a little older. We know we need to do all this. But as things change and as information come out, we got to start doing what makes sense. So it makes sense in 2025 that if you have a baby, you need to go make sure that baby belongs to you. So that, and I'm not telling no man he can't raise that child if that's what he want to do. See, I ain't even said nothing about that. I didn't say you couldn't be a stepfather. I said you need to make sure that baby's able to connect to his real father. So whether you love that woman or not, and maybe you don't even actually care. There are some rare situations where a man makes a connection with a woman, but she's already pregnant, and she be like, "Well, you know what? I was just having sex with this guy, but if you like me like that, and I do like you like that, we can get together, but there's a chance that baby ain't gonna be yours." That does happen every blue moon. It's extremely rare, but it does happen. Okay.
Okay, let me say,
you
let
know,
me ask you this. So you don't think that it's in the best interest of the child? You don't do that anymore? What about the children? Think of the children.
yeah, the best
It
interest of the
it
child.
it, it doesn't matter about the biological father. It only matters about whomever is taking care of the children.
Yeah, we thinking of the children. We're thinking of things in their heritage that might be an issue. There might be blood diseases. There might be There might be hereditary things going on in their families that they might need to know. Like, hey, high blood pressure might run in that child's family. We don't need to get our child too much salt while the child growing up. But if we selfish enough not to find out, we might harm the child.
Man,
Exactly.
come on, gentlemen.
Exactly. No, no, no. Hold on, hold on.
So
Let's think about this. You can have a child who can avoid whole medical situations because they know they are predisposed to this or that. But now if you don't know and that child eat regularly, you may find out in a much ugly way. So which is better for the child? I ain't saying you can't love little Bruno. Okay, little Bruno. Little Bruno might be a cute baby. And little Bruno mama might be bad in the mud. Okay? But when little Bruno born, little Bruno need to know who his daddy is. Okay? I ain't saying you can't love Melissa. Okay? Melissa may be a cute little thing. She might be able to go win them girl pageants and all that type of stuff. Could end up being the model one day. All I'm saying is for Melissa's sake, she need to know who her daddy is.
You know,
Yeah.
like, hey man, did you know Big Jack had polio? So we got to make sure we get little Jack immunized for polio. See, if this was my child, polio don't run in my family, we wouldn't have to worry about that. See what I'm saying? You ain't thinking about the
Mm-hmm.
child, Emperor. You ain't thinking about the child.
So you want Bruno to die at 29 from a lack of information. You know what I'm saying? You want Melissa's story to end tragic. She was an up and coming superstar model, and her life was tragically cut off at 31 because you don't want to think about the children's future. Well, last time I checked, a dad got to think about the kid's future.
All
So
we saying, if you're gonna be a stepfather, be the best stepfather you can be, and that start with a blood test. That's it.
yeah, I ain't saying you can't be no stepfather now. I respect men's decision. That's on them. And I'm gonna do some more shows coming up again about some stuff about if you take on that role, the things you're gonna need to decide that you're gonna have to actually do if you're gonna really take on that role the proper way. You know, but you can be that. Again, there's rare cases when a woman is honest. Well, me and my guy was going through it, and then you get with a chick, and you be like, "Well, you ain't got to mess with dude no more. Just mess with me now." It's people that do that, but she could have already been impregnated by the other guy. Those things do happen. If the child is born, y'all need to know whether this kid is yours or not for the kid's sake. So you can't say you love the kid, but you're unwilling to see if the child is actually yours or does it belong to somebody else. Because that's part of loving a child. And unfortunately, it's an added responsibility that is now there for Black men to deal with. Now, I'm not saying other people got to do it. If white people don't care who their baby daddy is, cool. If you Hispanic and you don't care, knock yourself out. Not for me to tell you. I ain't really worried about it. But for Black men, now we got to take this on as a real thing because unfortunately, we have enough information now that women are just sometimes wrong. Okay, sometimes they just wrong. They ain't even trying to fool people sometimes. Sometimes they just wrong.
And we as black men need to be comfortable taking on this responsibility because we don't need to wait for the government to enact policies for our community. We can enact these policies ourselves because it's for the betterment of our community. Government's not going to do anything specifically to help the black community unless the black community is already helping themselves. So this is something that we must do. That's absolutely needed for us to do to start helping ourselves and start righting our community. You start right at the birth of the child, so that there ain't no confusion. Ain't no confusion in the neighborhood. The who's who, what's what, and who's responsible for what. This is black men being responsible.
Absolutely. And shout out to Afro Merchant who say, Roger, love the kids. I do love the kids, y'all. I do. And this is part of loving the kids. Okay? I ain't never had a problem with kids. I've been around kids my whole life. I come from a big family. There's always kids to be around. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never quote unquote not been around kids. I ain't got no problem with kids at all. But I do need to know what is my perspective toward the child. Am I their dad? Am I an uncle? Okay. Am I just a guy in the neighborhood that look out for some kid who live in the area? Like, I got to know what my proper perspective is on how I'm supposed to view this child. Okay. I don't want to view a child as mine if the child ain't mine. I would prefer they dad see him that way. It's that simple to me. If you a dad, I want you to know. And I want you to do what you need to do for your kid. Because I'm not really worried about black men taking on the kids. Black men do a great and fantastic job when it comes to their own children. Matter of fact, we are such great fathers, truth be told, for us to not know a kid is ours is a huge detriment to a child. Because we such great fathers. So to keep that information away from a child, and the child could have got all these extra things while I was growing up. But the truth is, the dad just didn't know. I can't even blame black fathers because we're such great dads. If you don't even give the child the information, this person is his dad, dude would have did way more stuff or something in the first place, because if the guy don't know it all, he ain't doing nothing. Let's just keep that real. You know? Now, we just did a story not too long ago about the kids who jumped a mom walking her kids home. We just did a story about that. And what did the father say? The father say his theory is them kids is mad because he looking out for his children. His kids is dressed well. All their needs are being met because they got a dad, and then he go to work and he provide for his children. You see what I'm saying? So, do we want to take this from kids? Well, yeah, there's a lot of women who want to take this away from children, but as men, are we going to agree that this is the right thing to do for black children? And clearly, based on our actions, the answer is no.
So y'all want to do away with saving the community? You're not gonna step up and save the community anymore.
This is
I
saving
told
the
I
community.
I told you that Uncle Sam is gonna run out of money to take care of them, of these baby mamas. So many of your ninjas gonna have to step up, regardless of whether or not they're biological fathers or not, because it's in the best interest of the child, not you. You understand what I mean? You're not gonna embarrass the queens like that and ask them to do DNA testing and be out here running all over the place with 6, 7 men DNA test each one of them to find out exactly who the daddy is. The guy who has the most money, who can support the children, he's automatically the daddy. There's nothing to complain about. Save the community, okay?
And then we got people dealing with all types of issues later on because they got a lack of information. No, the best position for the child to be in is to know who their daddy is. That's the best. I mean, let's keep it real. That's honestly the best position for the child to be in, because people will say a lot of stuff, and I'm accepting what you said, and I get you playing devil's advocate to a certain degree, but give a person a choice between 30 more years to live and $1 million. Which one you think they take? Matter of fact, I'm gonna make it outrageous. Would you rather $1 billion and 30 days to live, or would you rather $100 and 30 more years to live? Which one you take?
Give me 100. Give me 100. I'm working out.
Yeah, and you know what? I appreciate you putting these arguments out there, because we need to start looking at stuff in proper perspective. Yeah, $100 and 30 more years. Give me that $100.
And there's another thing that he said. He said, asking these women to do DNA testing. Sir, we ain't asking. It's policy. We ain't asking. At the beginning of the relationship, before you even get intimate, hey, if you get pregnant, this is what's gonna happen.
So
Yeah,
so so y'all don't trust your queens anymore?
yeah.
These are your mamas.
We not worried about trust. Even when you trust people, you have to do verification steps. The internet probably trusts you, but when you go into your account, they like you to verify who you are.
Come on.
You know,
But Roger, these are
your
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 mamas,
your,
your sisters,
your
your
job
nieces.
your job trusts you. But before you come onto a job site, they like to verify that you coming in the door.
You still got to clock in.
Okay. There's a lot of companies out here with a card that says this is you coming in this particular door at this particular time. It's people that want you to clock in at a certain location on the site of the job. They're not saying they don't trust you. They just prefer you clock in at this particular location on the job. They ain't saying they don't trust. They trust you to go out there and do whatever it is that's in your job requirement. But they want you to do it. They want you to clock in at this particular location.
Well,
Just is what
yeah,
it is.
I'm gonna say just all of you sound like y'all hate women, particularly black women.
That must mean we also hate jobs. We also hate production. We also hate society. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're going to use that logic, we hate everything that verifies things. That means we hate the banking system. We hate people that people can buy a car through financing. We hate people having mortgages. You have to say we hate everything that they do stuff to verify with. And it's a lot of stuff in this country that you go through verification through.
Well, like I said, it doesn't matter who the daddy is. It only matters who steps up to be the dad.
Yeah, but I mean,
Y'all
yeah,
got y'all,
you know
y'all
what?
got to
You're
step.
right.
So
You're right.
let me say this. Y'all gonna look in the eyes of them beautiful babies, and not take care of them because they're not your biological child. Y'all are suckers. Y'all are heartless, man.
Well,
Who hurt y'all? Who hurt y'all?
well, Mr. Kryptonian, you are not allowing the actual father to have access to his own child by taking away his responsibility without informing him, sir.
But
What about him?
what if the child become a LeBron James? You're not thinking of that. Y'all could be part of a great legacy. Them child got long legs. He
Right,
has long arm. He could be
right.
a good ball player. You're gonna miss out
Mm-hmm.
on this legacy because of some petty shit called
And,
genetics.
and you know what? You know
Ah,
what? I'm glad you said that. LeBron
suckers.
James. If
Don't be a
no,
sucker.
let's think about this. Look how far LeBron James got without his daddy. Look how far he got without his daddy.
Right.
Now, if LeBron would have been raised by his daddy, he'd probably be the actual greatest of all time.
See, there we
Mm.
go. We always got to go off the rails. We have
No,
a good
no, no.
conversation.
I'm not trying to go off the rails. I'm trying to use this as a real point. Look how the greatness that LeBron James has been able to do on the basketball court without his father. I'm saying, let's think about this realistically. If he
Okay.
actually was raised by his father, and he got the stuff that he
He
had
would
access to without his father.
he
Now
would have
you
been
add his
even he
father
would
with
have been even
everything.
better. He would have
That's
been
all I'm
even better.
saying. He would probably
Okay.
legitimately be the greatest of all time
I
if
mean,
his daddy was in his life.
maybe like in basketball, and from my understanding, how you win is you score more points than the other team. Is that fair to say? Is that fair to say, sir?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the
How
whole
you
thing.
you win a game by scoring more points than the other team. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say. Yes, that's fair to say.
LeBron James, you're saying the guy that scored the most points in NBA history would have scored even more points? He would have been even greater
Probably,
if it.
truth be told.
He might be equal to Michael Jordan. He might be equal,
I, I
but not
mean,
better.
Cut it. Hey, you know what? Cut his mic off.
no,
Ain't nobody give him his 2 minutes, and then he just came in hot. Cut me off while I was talking and everything. You see what I'm saying? You know what?
Los
You must have
cientos,
had
los
your pan.
cientos, mi amigo.
You must have had your pancakes this morning. You mad?
I did not get pancakes this morning. I got hard-boiled eggs. So yeah, I am mad.
I'm gonna ask you, please cook this man some pancakes. He ain't acting right.
well, I am gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Realistically speaking, would if LeBron was actually raised by his daddy, would he have a little bit
Man,
more discipline? Probably a little
what
bit
could have
more
been?
structure. I mean, he's done things at such a high level. Just think about that extra he would have got if his actual dad was in the picture too. Because
Nah,
I ain't putting them down. I'm not doing that.
no, no,
I'm
no.
just saying.
I'm agreeing with you, and I'm gonna further your point. You know what I'm saying? And you know, since Tunnel Runner came here all hot and everything, we're gonna make him wait. To further your point, LeBron James, because he was in his children's life, was able to get one of his children drafted that shouldn't even been drafted.
Mm,
Mm,
that's a
mm.
heck of an argument right there. That's a heck of an argument. But let's.
Because his father was in his life. And that also, you know, no, we're going to let him wait about 10 more seconds. Let that marinate. Let that marinate. Coming in here talking crazy. Go ahead, turn around.
Oh man, oh man.
How you doing, Tony?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Uh,
They don't like
Critonia
the
was
truth
saying,
sometimes, Tony. They don't like the truth sometimes. Just keep that in mind. You know,
yeah,
truth
I
can hurt
understand.
sometimes. It's painful.
I
But go
understand.
ahead.
Lot of hate, a lot of hate. But what Critonia was saying, I think I heard before. He said, "You live by the sword, you die by the sword." So if you out there with six guys and you don't know, I mean, you live, you die by what you do. So your actions has consequences, and that would be something that she would learn right when she found out who the father is. She learned her consequences for her actions. So it'd be an educational process. Nothing to be embarrassed about. She just learning. She can learn and grow.
Well said. And I'm gonna say, as black men, we got to do the best we can, y'all. We don't have to do stuff according to what other people say. We just got to do the best we can. If I'm the guy involved and I'm messing with this woman, now maybe she is messing with five other dudes and I don't know nothing about it. The best thing I can do for this kid is to have a realization that that child don't belong to me, so that child will at least have a chance of finding their real dad. Now that child can grow up and ask their mama some questions. Let's say I stayed with her for whatever goofy reason I got. Or maybe it was a legitimate reason. I'm not gonna even say that. Maybe it was a legitimate reason. But I'm raising this child knowing this child ain't mine. So of course I'm gonna tell the child, no, I ain't your real daddy. Okay? Because I'm gonna be honest with the kid. Now the quicker I'm honest with the kid, the quicker that kid can go talk to their mama, and the quicker that child can find out who their real daddy is. Now that real daddy may want to do a bunch of extra stuff because that's his kid. And because he's black, more than likely that's gonna be the case. Black
Mm.
fathers like to do stuff for their children. So now, even if I did choose to stay, the child has the benefit of me electing to be there and the benefit of their dad wanting to be a part of their child's life. The
Mm.
child wins. So we're going to talk
Yeah.
about what's best for the child. How are we going to take victory from the child?
So y'all are so petty, and y'all want to punish them queens with DNA testing their children at birth.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Damn,
Is you saying
y'all are
the child?
heartless.
Did you just say the child having a chance at two dads is punishment to the woman? Is that what? Because that's the example I literally just gave you.
Why
And,
don't?
and, and a child having a chance at two dads is punishment to a woman?
But you're gonna embarrass her and ask her to take DNA test. You don't trust her,
What trust got to do with it?
but you love her, and so if you love her, you gotta trust her.
Bro, have you ever had to get into a building with a key card system? They
Yeah.
they trust you. They just want to verify that you coming in the door. That's all. What trust got to do with it?
Well, if you trust her, you would just step up and do the right thing.
Then,
Take
then
take
how
care
come?
take care of those children.
And
How do you explain a key card system, bro? There's key card systems that say this is you coming in this door at this particular time, but they
So so
trust you.
so y'all are equating DNA testing with key cards, really?
this is a security system for the black community. And if
Mm.
you want to do right, if you want to love her the right way, you want to provide her with this security.
It's
Amen.
beneficial for her to hear the truth. It's beneficial for her. The truth will
Yeah.
set her free.
All right, whatever. I can't do this no more. Fuck them kids.
No, 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 bro. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, man. I got this daughter named Melissa. Melissa's a beautiful child. Okay, I'm raising her since she don't remember nobody but me. Okay, but Melissa ain't mine. I know she not mine. The best thing I can do for Melissa is let her know that she ain't mine. Look, Melissa, I love you. I've been with you since you was first born. I was at the hospital when you was born, but you're not mine. You know, there's only so much I can do for you because you're not mine. I will be here for you when you need somebody. I'm here for you, Melissa. But there's certain things I just can't do for you because I ain't your real daddy. It just is what it
Oh,
is, and she
okay,
needs to know
okay, okay, Roger. Let me reintroduce myself. This is the real Kryptonian right here, Emperor Destiny. First of all,
so he gonna take off that Clark Kent stuff,
I, okay. First of all, I would like to say this with all the kindness and generosity that a Kryptonian has to offer. I'm being very kind and generous, and I'm being very, very, very cautious. And this comes from the bottom of my heart. Fuck them kids. I ain't your daddy. Even if I found out 15 years later that I ain't your daddy, fuck you, get out my house. Thank you very much. And
And
that and
see,
this is me, and this is me being nice because I could easily give them the 341 special. If you know, you know.
that's that's why DNA testing at birth is necessary to even
Remember,
avoid situations like that.
remember the story of the guy who found out that the three kids weren't his, and he went to her job and tried to shoot. He tried to delete her. He found out the kids weren't his. He went straight to her job and started busting on her.
Yep.
and see, my thing is we got to look at how things like that would affect the children. So for the children's best interest, so stuff like that won't happen. Or even as you said, kid could have been in your house for 15 years. Now y'all come to this realization that the child ain't yours. Now the child got to go at 15. See, this is unnecessary pressures that this child would have to deal with. And all I'm trying to say is, let's make sure these children ain't got to go through these unnecessary issues. Okay.
Mhm.
Who wants to be homeless at 15?
Roger. How about that kid needs a kidney? She don't need to be begging her father, her not biological. She needs to find her real father that she can get a kidney that's going to match. So she can
Right.
already eliminate the man who's not her father, who's not her biological father, and don't be putting pressure on him because he it can't give it to you. You got to get it from the original manufacturer, which is your original father, your biological father.
And
Yeah.
I got to say, it's some dead people that would agree with you right now. Y'all notice what I just said right there. It's some dead people who would agree with him right now. Because it's some people that's dead because they needed something serious in their life, like a kidney or something, and they didn't get it. They wasn't on no listing time. They couldn't get the stuff in, and they dead right now
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, but
because they ain't know.
it's also to protect these hoes because I remember this story. I think it happened in Jamaica. Guys found out that all three children were his, and he beheaded this hoe. Just
It
straight
is.
up.
It is. It is financially, medically, and psychologically irresponsible to not know in 2025 if that child actually belongs to
Yeah, too much information has come out, and see, this is how the world makes progress. As years go by, we found out more stuff, and then we start making adjustments with things that we already knew, so it can match what the truth actually is. First we had theories that kind of worked, maybe a little bit here and there, but when we find out factual information, we make adjustments. That's how things get invented and are able to actually work because we start making adjustments according to the information we do now know. And now in 2025, there's information out here about what's going on with women and children, and we need to just simply make some adjustments. And we don't need nobody's permission to make these adjustments. We can do this right now. And I'm gonna say shout out to LS Active. He says, if it was the other way, Black women would have been DNA testing brothers for kids since civil rights. Don't be a coward. Hey, shout out to you, LS. Appreciate you saying that. Appreciate you saying that. And yes, that is the thing, y'all. We can cower away from this situation. We can come up with all kinds of reasons not to do it. But at the end of the day, that's shirking your responsibility as a man. That is shirking what the child needs in their life, and that is shirking your responsibility as part of the community to make stuff good, better, maintain it, however you want to look at it. You have a community responsibility to make sure that these children at least get a chance to access their real father. Because think about it. The DNA test don't mean the relationship is going to change between the man and the woman. It's just about giving a child a chance to access their real dad. And that's it. And you need to know who that is well before 7, 8, 9 years go by, especially if you need them medically. That's an extreme situation. But, maybe y'all want to go on vacation. Ain't nobody here to watch little Bruno. Guess what, Bruno? You're going to your daddy house for the next 2 weeks. And we're going to have a nice little trip. It's that simple at the end of the day. Everything don't have to be extreme. That make a lot of sense when you think about it. Okay, maybe you love that woman. You ain't going nowhere. That stuff happens. But hey, Bruno, you're going to be at your daddy house for the next 2 weeks. We finna go kick it. We'll see you when we get back. And I'm going to stop it right there because we got Creator who done come up. So I'm going to go ahead and get a mic to Creator. What's going on, my brother?
Good morning, brothers. Good morning or good afternoon, brothers. Good afternoon. I'm always about Black patriarchy and taking care of your babies and men stepping up. And, that's really what I'm all about, man. And you can't speak about single mamas. I think this is one of them days where we should highlight father and fatherhood and what does that even look like? And, we was having a discussion. They were talking about how men are in kids' lives and they're not really a benefit. But then we got kids who just want a father, right? We got kids who don't want the father there, right? Because what comes with that, a lot of accountability and responsibility and planning and intention, right? When a man is around. But if you don't have a proper plan, is it really even beneficial for men to be around? And I think that could be why a lot of men don't stick around. It's like, hey, I had the baby and the fun, but the responsibility, some men just really don't have the capacity to operate a family or to even be a parent, a proper parent. Now, but still saying that's to me still no excuse. If you had that child was meant to be here from your own loins. It is your responsibility to take care of that child. And from this point forward, whatever you got to do to ensure that that child is yours, you should take those steps. And then once you ensure that that child is yours, then now take the proper steps to make sure that that child has a life before they get 18 years old, right? And, I can get a little deeper on what that looked like, but those are the strategy we have to teach as men, because what happened is when that baby mama becomes a mama, she's still going to take those strategies that man had in order to survive. Everybody wants, a leg up, right? So that's what we men do. We show women what to do. And it don't matter if they could even do it better, but we still got to show you, right, in the beginning what it looked like. And then go ahead, take off. I hope you do better than me, because that's really the plan with any type of leader. I want to give you the game and let you run. I don't want to compete. You win. You won, right? Parent properly. I'm going to give you the right strategy to raise my children, right? And if you want to compete, go compete with them other women on who can raise, the other ethnic group women, not even our women, the other ethnic group women on who can raise the best children.
Now, I'm going to say well said, and I'm going to say, yeah, I've heard women have discussions about men not, quote unquote, prepared to be fathers. I'm just going to keep it real. Those are white men, okay? Black men are the best fathers in America, period, okay? All everything we know of comes down to that fact. So we don't need to defend up. We got the title. We ain't got to worry about. We wearing the belt. Okay, we got the championship belt on, and ain't nobody took it from us. Now the belt available, but nobody takes it. So it is what it is on that note. So
now
women talk about a lot
of that would take the fear away, right? Knowing that as black men, so rather you fear it, but statistically you can see your others, it usually turns out okay. So that should take the fear away.
Well, I'm just saying when it comes down to it, white men can get a lot of jobs where they're unqualified. It's normally not a black thing. So if a black man is a father, he gonna be one of the best fathers America got to offer. That's on record at this particular point. It's not even a theory anymore. It's been proven by the U.S. government. So we as black men shouldn't be worried about women in nonsensical conversations. But it is what it is. They have a reason to have nonsensical situations, but I ain't even trying to dive off too far into that. The thing is, what do we do as men? If we want the community to go the right way, we got to take the steps of moving it in the right direction. So, unfortunately, in 2025, we just got to accept one of the things that black men have to do. One of our first responsibility, we got to make sure this kid is ours, because it's not about you at the end of the day. If you love a child, you got to be okay with the child knowing who their real father is. Now, as a man, how can you say you love a child, but you don't want to know, but you don't want that child to know who their real father is? How do you do that as a man? So yeah, you need to verify that you are the child's real father, so the child can be with their real dad. Now, if the child ain't your kid, you have to accept that if you're gonna be involved in this situation, there's another man who gets to say certain things about his kid. I'm not telling no man you got to walk away from the woman. That's your decision to make as a man. But you're gonna have to deal with some of the rules that go along with being a stepdad, because you're not the primary dad at that point. And that's got to be a real thing that black men gonna have to accept if they're going to deal in that situation. You know, you can't be getting into fights and whatnot with the baby daddy. That's not good for the child. Y'all can't be arguing about nonsense because both of y'all think y'all the real daddy. That's not good for the child. Somebody needs to know what their position is. And if you're a black man and you're serious about life, you know the number one spot is not automatically yours. You have to look at what's going on in a particular situation and accept your actual spot. Now, maybe you can get into a plan to get into a number one spot in some form of life, but every number one spot is just not yours. That's why I say men got to look both ways before they cross the street. We can't be in this delusional mindset that everything is just me all the time. No, that's not real life. You don't get to call every shot. And you got to respect other men when it's time for them to call their shots. Now, how can you love little Melissa and you don't want her to know who her daddy is? How can you love little Bruno if you don't want Bruno to know who his daddy is? Because we'll say stuff about love, but love, it deals with a whole lot of stuff. If I love Melissa, then I want Melissa to know who her daddy is. If I love Bruno, I want Bruno to know who his daddy is. If it's me, great. But if it ain't me, I still need them to know who their dad is. Because it ain't love if I'm trying to hide it from them. Now, people can do what they want to do with that information. I know if your mind gets to clicking, well, what that mean for the women? I'm not changing what I said. If you love your child, you want your child to know who their parent is. So yeah. Now I'm consistent. I've been arguing that black women don't really love their children. Because a lot of them will hide who their dad is. That's not love to me. That's taking advantage of folks. That's trying to do what's convenient for yourself. That's putting your child on the back burner. If you really love a child, you got to be okay with the child knowing who their parents are. And that's real talk. You have to be.
I agree to a degree. Sometimes there's a level of protection that needs to happen. And I mean, I get it. If we all got wings and you come out with gills, you know what I mean, you're gonna be asking some questions. But at some point, you know that there's um, details to everything, to every situation. But definitely, you know, there is a protection component that comes about when you got kids, and you know there are other
What
parents
protection
involved.
what
Yeah,
protection component are
because
you speaking of?
yeah, because I'm gonna throw out there. What if daddy a crackhead? Should the child not know his dad a crackhead?
Yeah. All I
There
can
again,
say,
you know, it just
all I
depends
can
on the
say,
degree. You know what I mean, it just
all,
depends on the situation. Now,
all I
me
can
personally,
say,
hold on. Me
Well,
personally, I would think you would want. I want you to know who your father. If they living, because it don't matter what he is. Sooner or later, you're gonna want to know if you got one, and if they alive, it don't matter what it is, you want to meet them. I think that's usually every child's, or you know, when they become adult, they just want to know where they came from. You have that right. I agree. You totally do. But there also is a component if that happens that there is a level in some situations where there's a level of protection. Say he's a crackhead and he's a violent crackhead, or he's a different type of. Usually when drugs come around, morals go out the window. So when morals
okay,
go out the window, you know, I'm not saying that,
okay,
that when people have devices, whatever, that it don't even have to be drugs, but people have behaviors, and those behaviors disrupt systems. And if
okay.
those
Wait a minute.
behaviors disrupt systems, there has to be a level of protection.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So, if I have a if I get a woman pregnant, say she's physically violent, is it smart for me to have a child from a woman that I know is physically violent?
I think we talked that you did already had this child from that person that was maybe
No,
neglected.
I'm asking you a question. Is it intelligent of me to impregnate a woman when I already
Not at
know
all.
she's physically
Yeah, not at
violent?
all.
Is it intelligent for me to impregnate a woman if I know she is a drug addict?
Not at all.
Why is it intelligent, or why do we make excuses for women that do the same goddamn thing?
I'm not making excuses. What I'm saying is
You are
okay.
making excuses.
Now
You're saying
listen,
there's
hold on, brother.
protections. What
Listen
protections
to me.
for what?
The
What?
deed is done. So I'm not going back to smack her upside the head because they made a decision. The child's already here. Now what do we do?
Okay,
I'm
okay.
thinking
Yeah, yeah,
proper planning
Hold
yeah,
now.
on.
yeah.
Let me do it like this, because I don't want to be adversarial, but I do want to understand. Because when you did say protection, I'm trying to figure out what would a child need to be protected from, and that's why I threw out daddy's a crackhead, because that's a pretty
Right.
bad situation. Okay, so now we got little Bruno. Okay, we got a little Melissa, y'all. Okay, they're growing up. Their dad is a crackhead. Their dad is an actual crackhead. All right.
Right.
Still live with his mama. The guy is, let's say the guy is 52 years old. He still live with his mama.
Hmm.
What protection is there to be involved with if daddy's a crackhead? Should they not know that their father is this crackhead? Okay. Should they not know that they may be more susceptible to other people when it comes to drugs and things like that? That's something they should cleanse their way from, because according to their family history, you may end up a crackhead. Like, what do we mean by protection? Because I think
Protection.
even if your daddy a crackhead, you probably should know that he a crackhead.
I agree. Shit, I knew
I,
all. You know what I'm saying?
look,
I knew my
let,
fathers and them, but I was protected. You know what I'm saying?
let me let me
Protected
give you
from
let me
going
give you
down.
a real life let me let me give you a real life
Right.
example, because creative finna go down fantasy land. My father was on crack when I was born, and because I knew that, and I knew who my father was my entire life, it was set in my head to never do drugs because I witnessed what my father has gone through throughout his life. Now, my father and I are very close, very close. His condition hasn't changed. I didn't need to be protected from him. I just needed to be protected from his behavior.
think that's what I said, brother. I said the behavior. If his behavior is extreme, then that's different. A lot of addicts, we didn't dealt with this. We talking about it. You know what I mean? We ain't new to
Right.
this. We for real with this. Are way different. So some like some of my, like I said, my buddies who have dads, they was cool with they served their dads, right? And they kept them around. This is my father. This is who it is. We different with our pops. But then there was them pops that was way different, right? And there was a large number of those people, meaning when you couldn't get nothing new. You couldn't have nothing new in the house. They were belligerent. Every time they came around, the energy is off. It's not positive. It's not bringing you productive, right? Those are energies that I felt like at a time where now some sane adult is acting like, all the sane adults is acting like they don't see this. They don't see this individual behaving in this manner that's detrimental to everyone's psyche around here. So now I'm feeling like there's a lack of protection, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying keep you away from your people or not letting your people, hold on, know who you is. But if you got children and he's not sustaining, a lot of times the dads are not in the home, is what I'm saying. And if the dad's not in the home, he's not making deliberate efforts to want to parent, right? Then I'm not going to make a deliberate effort to go ruin my child's psyche and work so hard to get them to even where they are. The fact that they don't even have a parents or proper parenting in their life is a thing that I only care about. Peace when I care about is the sanity of the child. I don't give a crap about the parent at that point. I don't, because you didn't choose properly anyway. So I can't even focus on you. Focus on what's best for that child in that moment. They get 18, they want to go do what they do. Go do what you do. You grown.
Who didn't choose properly?
The parents, the two individuals, right? But now here you are in the situation. I'm just saying this is all hypothetical. It ain't, it's all theory, right? I'm sure we know people in these situations. I'm personally not and have not had to deal with that, right? To that degree.
That's what I'm saying, man. You're speaking of fantasy land. I'm speaking of real life. My mother chose for me twice.
Yeah, my mom. I mean, I don't have to get into my you like to validate whatever I'm saying.
But see, we're using this as an example. You're speaking from fantasy. I'm speaking from factual.
You don't know what I'm speaking from, brother. I'm not speaking fantasy, but I don't have to give my insular family history.
No, right.
And I'm not even asking anybody to get an insular family history. What I'm saying is
we've all dealt with it.
What I'm dealing with it. What I'm saying is, if a woman has a child, there's a responsibility amongst the adults to make sure that child knows who his daddy is. Point blank, period.
I agree.
If the child needs to be protected from their father, then the child needs to be protected from their mother. They the same people at the end of the day. So
absolutely,
now I'm gonna say this too, though. Now, if you want to go into the business of protecting a child from their own parent, it's so much psychologically wrong with that. I don't even know what to tell you. That's their child. I don't have to agree with how parents raise their child, but it's theirs.
If somebody's deliberate, Roger, I'm never gonna keep a man. I'm pushing for men to go get their kids. My point is when I'm pushing and calling and saying, "Hey, you got a kid over here," and you running, right? Oh, okay. You know what? Check it out. You know what? It's my duty to protect this individual, because now what I'm discovering is that who your father is, you don't need to know that right now. And that's just how I feel, right? That's how I feel. Now, if your father's deliberate in his intention, he first got to go through me. And there's some questions and some sit down talks we got to go through before you even get to him now. You see how they work? So it shouldn't have never came to me. It didn't come to me first.
I don't see how it works.
Hold on.
Now that I'm here, we're gonna do it my way.
We can talk about it, but we can talk about it, in a good way. I'm gonna say this: if it's their kid, it's their kid, and it's that simple at the end of the day. Now, me, I just kill you open mind, and we call it the day. You know what I'm saying? And that's always gonna be on record for me. Okay, I don't even understand a person who won't kill over their child. I don't even get it. So if it's my child, And anybody tries to keep from my child, I just kill them. It's that simple.
Well, make
Okay.
sure you pay for them before you murder people. Make sure you.
No. I ain't saying I would murder
care of the
anybody.
child first is what I'm saying.
I am not saying I would murder anybody because I would never murder somebody. Murdering is, I'm totally against murder. It's wrong. Now, killing for a purpose is different than murder. And anybody trying to keep me away from my child, I will kill you. I'm not going to even pretend I won't.
You want to see your child and be in your child's life.
That's
what I'm saying. You're making a conscious effort.
No, this is the thing. This is the thing. If I want to be in my child's life, ain't nobody going to keep me out of it unless you're willing to put your life on the line.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? But now I'm going to say this. Now, because you said something about a man running from his kid. Now, that's a lot of propaganda. Black men don't run from their children.
Stop, bro.
No. We're going to deal with this on a real level. That is propaganda. Black men don't run from their children. Women like to have children where they keep the fathers out the picture. And I wasn't even really trying to go that hard on this this particular show.
I feel you, little bro. I do, but I don't. I'm telling you, like you said, I don't want to put my own insular experiences plural. You understand? But that ain't the case. So what I'm gonna
no. It's the case for the vast majority. You can always find a guy with no legs. They do exist, but generally, every black man wants to be there for his child. And if there's something going on where the father has a problem with what the situation is, that's obviously because of the mother. The mother is lying or been lying for years. There's stuff going on in the background, and because we don't hold women accountable, they're still able to do stuff like that. There is no father who has a problem with his kid, and it's not a direct cause of the mother. That's just how it is. We don't have to like that, but that is the fact in today's society.
I'll concede with that right there for now.
No.
Because that do make sense. That now we talking.
So that's why, as black men, we have to understand our first responsibility. We got to make sure this kid out. Because it ain't just about you at the end of the day. It's about giving the child a chance to get to their real dad. Because we can't guarantee that's going to happen. If you get your baby tested and you find out that's not really your baby, whether you decide to stay with that woman or not, you can't guarantee that child is ever going to get to their real dad. But what you can do is create a situation where it's more likely that the child will be able to get to their real dad. Because if I know this child is not mine and I decide to stay for whatever my reasons are, I'm not going to be lying to some kid. When my kids say, well, daddy, can you do this because we having a this, that? And I'll be like, no, well, you know what? I'm not your real dad. I just chose to raise you. I'm your stepdad. But you old enough to know that now. And they're going to say, naturally, well, who's my real dad? Now, if I know, I can tell them. But if I don't know, I'm going to have to say, well, you're going to have to ask your mama because I don't know who your real dad is.
So that's a different situation, Roger. That's saying that, hey, you are already in a relationship with somebody. You had a relationship with that child. We're a unit, we're a family. And then we find out later that whatever reason, I'm not your child, right? Or I'm not your dad. I'm not your father.
Well, I'm saying the child would find out. What I'm saying is, as black men, we need to take it upon ourselves to let women know at this point in the game, any new child we have, we're going to get that baby tested before I sign a birth certificate. It is something we need to do, because if we're going to be head of the community, we got to do head of the community stuff. We know how much stuff is going on out here. No, we can't change stuff that's in the past. I'm not telling somebody they got to take their 37-year-old to get a DNA test. I'm saying we're in 2025. It's got to be policy for us. All newborn children will be tested. That's what I'm saying.
That should be a standard. You know why it should be a standard? Can I explain why it should be a standard real quick? It's because parenting is intentional, man. No, for real. Parenting is intentional. And y'all know how we go. We go hard as fathers. So we all in 150, 200%. I just want to know, you know what I'm saying, before we get in, right? This is mine. And I get it. We going in. This is my seed. And another thing, when the kids grow up, they start to act different. They start to look different. They start to behave differently. And you can see it. You'll be able to see it. So I am an advocate of your kids need to know who their daddy is. You should never keep your kids. I don't care what he is. So you decided to have kids by that man, right? He should know who his father is. Now, if he's improper or if he's acting in such a way don't be no idiot. Don't put your children in harm's way, even to the mamas. In a
Okay.
lot of cases, men really need to go snatch up their kids, because a lot of times it be the mamas. You can't even go 100% because I get it. You didn't have, children by the woman that you want, but in some cases you running right when you really should be charging full steam ahead, trying to gain full custody so the kids could be 10 times better than what they really actually would be as a result of doing you present.
Why should a father have to fight for custody of a child that belongs to him in the first place?
Yeah, he shouldn't have to, brother. I know. Ain't it crazy?
Right. See,
Shouldn't have to.
created real quick. Here's the issue that I'm having with you, and here's the issue that some of the other brothers on the panel have with you when you come up here. You always go to what the black man is doing wrong, in your opinion. We're not even talking about that. We're not even talking about what women are doing wrong. We're talking about creating policies for black men and how to carry ourselves going forward when children are produced. We're talking about origin point. Why you keep wanting to go into the future of this child is advanced age and the father done left. I don't even know I don't even know why you're talking about that, because that's not what we're talking about here, bro. It seems like you have an angst against black men and you want everybody to know that black men have abandoned their children, which ain't true. This is the issue that we're having, bro. You're talking about something we're not talking about. And I'm saying that with love and respect to you, brother.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, look, we have situations. Again, we can't change the past because none of us have that ability. But as black men, we got decision making ability. We need to make a decision that we're just not signing birth certificates until we get the results back from a test. When we have our children tested, that simple. Take your baby home, find some place that you're comfortable with, have your child tested, get your results, get them without the woman being able to touch the results. And once you see who that baby belongs to, just simply move accordingly. I ain't saying anybody had to break up. Let's keep it real. When you meet a woman, it's a good chance she already having sex with somebody else when you first met her. So you may have got with her and you may have liked her and all that good stuff, but that don't mean she ain't pregnant with somebody else's baby. And she may have let you hit it all the time when y'all first got together. Because some women do that very much intentionally. I'm gonna let you hit it so much they ain't no in the world he ain't gonna think that this baby ain't his. At the end of the day, none of that matters. Just take your baby and get the child tested. If the woman loves the child, forget you for a moment. If the woman loves the child, she want that baby to know who his daddy is. She want that baby to know who her daddy is. Okay? Now I'm using little Melissa and little Bruno at the moment. But how do you love Melissa or Bruno? You don't want them to know who their daddy is. You can't have it. See, the thing is, we can't live in two different worlds, y'all. We're going to have to pick which world we're going to live in. And if we're going to live in this reality as black men, we got to look both ways before we cross the street. So, hey, maybe I met the mama. Maybe the mama is Tina. Okay? Maybe I fall in love with Tina. I want to be with Tina no matter what. But it just come out that Tina got pregnant by Tony before she got with me. Now, I can either accept Melissa or I can accept Bruno, depending on whether we have a boy or a girl, and we can keep it rocking. But what I cannot do as a man is lie to my child. Even if this is my stepchild, I'm not going to lie to my child about who they are. You are not my child. You don't come from my family. You don't come from my stock. You have a father. His name Tony. You got to go deal with Tony to a certain degree because Tony is your father. It's just that simple. Now, me and Tony, we're talking set up how we going to deal with our different rules about our households and what the kid got to do. That's between me and Tony. But you do belong to Tony. Tony can tell you what to do. You do have to listen to Tony because Tony is your daddy. I can't be a good stepfather and tell you to disrespect your actual father. That don't make sense either. So I'm saying as black men, because we are in a situation where Let's keep it real. A lot of women we come across, and a lot of women that we have children by, are not virgins when you meet her. We have to be more responsible about what we're doing, which means what? The babies must be tested. We don't need to wait for the government to get involved. No, our babies need to be tested. Everybody else don't need to test their baby. That's on them. They can make whatever decision they want to make. But for us as black men, and I'm saying this is something we need to really be talking about. So it's normal to black kids growing up. When you have a baby, your child is getting tested. We're not signing birth certificates until after we get the results back from the test. We're not concerned with people's feelings about it. This is your duty as a black man. If you call yourself a good black man, you're going to have to do good black man stuff. So as a good black man, you need to verify for the child if you're the daddy or not. Don't tell me you care about that child and you won't verify that you was actual father or not. Because it's actually necessary in 2025. Again, I ain't worried about the older folks who they done did this stuff already. We didn't have the information we have now. But you can't be here in 2025 talking about I ain't getting my kid tested and say you're a responsible father at the same time. That don't work.
Okay, I'm looking at it from a different POV. So now what does that even look like? You know what I'm saying? And I like my day, I know what I was doing. So this was deliberate. I would never have that. Plus, you know your kids look like me. But let's just say, hypothetically, somebody, are up in age and maybe the kid, what does that even look like? Like what steps would they take to ensure, you get what I'm saying? They getting ready to have a baby. He's saying it's his and she ain't had it yet. And maybe men that are already in relationships. What does that even look like? I want to know. I'm just being real.
Well, I'm saying this is something we're gonna do with newborns. I'm not saying we got to go disrupt somebody who's 35 years old and he think dude this is daddy, because there'll be some people who will be very uncomfortable with that. But that ain't
Well,
got no.
I give an answer to what Creator is asking. Um, like if let's just say the child is of a little bit advanced age, and the child doesn't know who their father is. This child is going to have, as you mentioned, certain mannerisms and characteristics that are unique to it that it doesn't even understand where this is coming from because the man that's raising it is unaware. You understand what I'm saying? But if the man who's raising this child and he's tested this child and we know who the real father is, hey, I can introduce you to your real father so you know who you are. You know why you have certain mannerisms. You know why you move and think and act the way that you do. This is, I said this earlier, shortly before you came on. It's psychological, it's financial, it's medical, and it's psychological. It is important, especially for boys, to know who their father are so that they know who they are. Even as stepfathers, you need to be an intentional stepfather. Does that make sense?
Oh yes, I agree,
Yeah.
Coach.
And let me say it's real quick, y'all. Let me say it's real quick because I missed this. Even though I think we good now, but I missed this earlier. But y'all need to know a warning then came through. Chef Mike said, what we ain't gonna do is get out of pocket. One at a time, stay on subject, and stop attacking each other. So that's a warning shot right there, y'all. So let's stay cool, calm, and relaxed as we deal with this. And this is where black folks gonna have to accept some. I used to say on a regular basis, life ain't fair. Sometimes we got to deal with stuff that's uncomfortable. But as men, we are supposed to do this type of stuff because we're the adults. The adults are supposed to do the hard stuff. It might be hard to go to a kid that's 7, 8 years old and have to have this whole conversation, but I ain't your real dad. Because some of y'all might want to get y'all older people. I ain't telling you can't get an older kid tested. What I'm saying is it's got to be policy that new children must be tested. We got to make that policy. If you want to take your 12-year-old and get your 12-year-old tested, man, you're a grown man. Who am I to tell you not to? But see, now the only problem is if you get that child tested and you're not the real daddy, now it's just harder for the child to reach his real father. Maybe
Yes.
you leave that relationship. Maybe you put folks out the house. Maybe you don't. That's up to you. But now, if she ain't contacted the real father in 7 years, maybe a lot more difficult to find them at this point. So now we done left
Right.
the kids stranded. That's what we done did. Now, do we want to leave children stranded when it comes to who their daddy actually is?
Right. The
So are you
earlier we
drawing up
find out,
legislation? Are you drawing up legislation to make this
no,
happen? Should this be a
no,
law? Is this just a
No.
community
This is
thing?
just something for black men to do. We don't need no legislation to make this happen. It's
this
just
is
simply,
policy for black men. This is just the way we move.
Let's
Now, if
go.
legislation follows us, fine. But we ain't waiting on that. We are
Come on.
being proactive. And as you said, we are being intentional about the way we are being fathers moving
That's right.
forward.
yeah. Because I'm looking at stuff from a realistic perspective. You could have a kid that's 12 years old. Daddy want to get the kid tested for whatever reason. Now, this 12-year-old come out, this ain't your kid. Now, mama may have been super dirty, or she may have just been somewhat dirty. But maybe, and I'm being realistic, y'all, because when if you was back in the day, y'all used to remember people's phone numbers. Nowadays,
Yep.
you don't even look at people's phone numbers no more. You get it when you get it. You put in your phone, and you don't never think about somebody. I don't know my mama's phone number. Let's just. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it all the way. I don't know my mama's phone number. I can't just call my mama off the memory. I don't know her number. But I know where she lives. But I don't. I've never taken time out to learn my mother's phone number. Neither do I know my father's phone number. It just is what it is. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Now I can still access them, and I got a bunch of people who I can get their phone number from, even if I can't call them. I got tons of people to call to get a hold of them. You see what I'm saying? I know enough numbers to get to the number I need. I do know that. But a lot of folks, y'all don't look at nobody's number. You don't have anybody's phone number for real.
Right.
So at the end of the
The
day,
early,
hold on, let me just say this. This 12-year-old
right.
get tested. Whatever reason, mama stopped talking to dude 7 years ago. She got mad, deleted his number. Because I know y'all, if y'all like me, it's old numbers in your phone, and every once in a while I go out to clean out numbers that I don't call no more, and I done forgot who these people even are. Some people gonna do that, some people won't do that. She got mad at some point, and she took dude number out the phone 7 years ago. But this kid 12. How do you get this kid to his real father at that point?
Yeah.
You,
And to further your point, the earlier you get to the truth, the smoother the road is going to be afterward, no matter what the truth is. Now you're armed with the truth. You can move with the truth into whatever situation you decide to go in with that thing. Go ahead, Chris.
Nah, yeah, I ain't saying nothing wrong. Like I said, I was looking at it from a different point of view. For real, I'm looking at it from I'm a papa, so I'm looking at it from a different point of view. You're right, things are different now, and thinking with intention. I wasn't even thinking about that part. That's crazy. Let's just establish what this is out the barrel head before we even move forward. Let's establish
And,
who is what.
yeah,
and
new.
that's why we're having this conversation because we don't think about it enough as a community. This is something that needs to be at the forefront of our conversation as teenagers. Our teenagers need to be having these
I
conversations,
agree.
bro.
I agree.
Yeah, exactly. And I won't say y'all, the purpose of this channel is for us to talk about stuff enough that it'll come out your mouth in real life. I'm not talking about you just listen to the show. I'm saying you'll have a conversation with your nephew. You'll have a conversation with your son. Your friend, your son's friend may bring up something. Then you have these real conversations so everybody would know what time it is. And one of the ways to help our group of people is to have a standard that no, we get all the kids tested when they newborns. Every single one of them. That's what we gonna do. If a woman wants to have a baby with a black man, she should already know. Oh well, that kid getting tested. That should go without saying. But we got to get it to the point that it goes without saying. It ain't there yet. Right now, it's just an idea stage because I'm promoting it, and are other people gonna pick up on it? I'm gonna tell you, a lot of folks gonna fight against it because they're gonna say, "Well, no, let's get the government to do it," because niggas is gonna be scared. Okay, they do not want to have a conversation with a woman about getting their kid tested, and that's why
Yeah.
they run into the government like a girl.
That's pedigree too. You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
we kind of get the data on our own. You know, it's taking charge and taking control of us. The whole idea, the concept, I get it, I like it, and I think we should push
Right.
forward to where now it only makes sense at the Burrowhead. I know anybody there's a that had more than one woman, boy, that's the first thing you want to know. Like, that ain't mine. You know what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So likewise, and in some cases, some men just be so he ain't even tripping. You know what I mean? If it is or it ain't. But yeah, that child need to know who their father is at the end of the day. They definitely got to at
Yeah.
least know
And,
who their father is
and
because you're
what
going to grow up wanting to know. Most men want to know who their father is. You know who your mama is.
exactly?
Most men want to know, like, damn, who was my father? Good, bad, or indifferent?
And I ain't telling nobody they can't be there for a kid that don't belong to him. That is your personal decision when it comes down to it. At the end of the day, just do what you think is right. But the kid need to know. It ain't about you.
Right.
The kid need to know. But let me give it to Rael since he just came up. Rael, you got the flow, my brother.
Peace, Roger. Peace to the panel. Peace to the chat. Sorry for my voice. Just
Peace, man.
woke up, man. Peace.
Yeah. Hope you had a
Um.
good holidays, brother. Hope you had a good holiday time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is in the wheelhouse of what I really think is really ultimately the major problem. Um, before you even get to the birth certificate and all of that stuff, most, and I'm just going to put the women to the side for a minute. Many black males in these broken families, and I consider a family broken when the authority in terms of what direction the family goes in is authorized and the power is in the hands of the females. That's what I constitute a broken family. I do not believe that women should be making the essential decisions in which a family's direction is dictated. They do not have the ability to lead a family. That is not their purview. That is on the men. And I find it very interesting that when it comes to these types of topics, much of the weight is put all on the black man, and none of the responsibility is put on the female who actually is pregnant, because that family should have a vested interest on who comes into their bloodline too. It's not just one-sided. Okay. And ultimately, that female is going to either give birth to a child that is going to be fully functional in terms of having both sides, mainly the father, execute the direction into which that child goes in, or she's going to have that authority, which means her own family is not really holding her accountable at all. And so, to me, that's where it starts. And to me, that's where the men, or supposed to be men in her family, should be dictating the rules set. If you're around and you see your daughters, your female cousins, your sisters, you know, aunts, you know, that maybe around your age, and they just around and they getting pregnant and they just having kids, and There is no discussion on how it's playing out. They just out there getting pregnant. I'm sorry, man. I gotta say it, man. The males in that family are the problem, man, because they're basically co-signing this type of behavior. And then they skip over the female relatives that they have, and then they jump to the men like you haven't even interjected into the situation. You haven't even called a family meeting or something to that effect to where you address a lot of this stuff because you don't need no government legislation to legislate the rules of your own bloodline. You don't need that. You just need some dudes that's just gonna hold their damn nuts and make sure shit goes the way it's supposed to. Because if it goes the way it's supposed to on that level, the other stuff with the men will take care of itself because they're going to know that when they deal with your particular family, you men are going to be at the forefront and they're going to have to interact with you in a way that that female gets a certain level of respect, which I agree. If they're moving in a proper fashion, they're supposed to get. But if y'all female relatives are just able to just run in the streets and get effed on with no type of authority being over them, man, I don't really want to hear, man, what a black man that y'all just let run through your female family member in the first place. Well, he should be doing this and he should be doing that. Well, what is she supposed to be doing? Is she supposed to be allowed to just run the street and just like, because all these whisperings that happen in a lot of families, that's the problem. Well, Keisha, well, she was over there. Well, who's the kid father and what's going on? I don't know. And you just have all these whisperings, but you don't actually have a conversation. There needs to be penalties exacted on these females who are just running around in these broken families, dealing with God knows who. Nobody knows who she's dealing with. She's in the street late night. Nobody know where she is. And these broken families are just okay with it. And then when the situation turns out, you know, in a negative sense, everybody is looking at, oh, it's the black man. No, it ain't the black man's fault. Because if it's the black man's fault, it's the black man and her family fault first. Not some dude that's on here randomly. Because at the end of the day, those people allowed that. They didn't say anything. They sat there and watched it. They gave money to what's the thing it's called? When chicks get pregnant, baby shower, giving money to baby showers of kids, a female that's impregnated out of wedlock. I'm not supporting that type of crap. I don't give a damn. Like I don't do that. I don't do that. No, I got sisters. I don't. I have never since my 2022. I haven't seen any nieces or nephews of any siblings I got. I don't play that, man. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And the truth of the matter is, there's a lot of dudes in these broken families who have abdicated responsibility because either you have the authority or you don't. And if you don't have the authority, man, you shouldn't be supporting them chicks anyway. I don't care who it is, including your mama.
All right, you know what? See that's a tough pill for a lot of folks to swallow. Let's just let's be real about it. But it's keeping it real at the end of the day. And when it comes down to it, a lot of reasons you don't have proper family structure is because folks ain't even interested in who and where the kid can come from. So to get things back to where it's supposed to be, as men, we gotta just simply make a decision. We either gonna do this or we not. Now it's no, there's all kind of reasons to be quote unquote scared to get your kid tested because you don't, maybe you want that kid to be yours, and you might be thinking something, and maybe that kid ain't yours. But the quicker you find out, the better off everybody gonna be. Is that simple at the end of the day? If you want families to actually be whole and not be considered a broken family, which I don't even give people credit of having a family. If the father's not there, that's not a family. That's just people doing stuff. Okay, you are anti-family if the father's not present. That's just what it is to me. So I can't look at you as a family, period, because you're not. If this was a family, it would be a man and a woman who decided to have a child or children. and they would be together. That's what a family is. It's always been that.
I'll
And to me, it's
go
always
further,
going to be
Roger. I'll go further. If the females in your family do not give the custody of the child to the actual father, they're the enemy. I'm going to go that far. Because then we'll know. We'll know. If you don't give the custody of the, if you do not give the custody of the child to the father, you are the enemy, period. One thing I can say about my mother, man, God rest her soul. When her and my father divorced, and my father said, hey, I want my son. My mother said, okay, come and get him. There was no fight. There was no court. My mother said, come and get him. I was sitting there asking for dad. Where's dad at? Where's dad at? And she told me, she was like, boy, you kept asking for your dad. Like, where is he at? Where is he at? And she didn't fight. She didn't fight that. You know what I'm saying? And I was where I was needed. I needed to be. I was up under my father's tutelage. That's where I needed to be. That's where I needed to be as a boy, and that's where I was. So I'm not. That wasn't no government. My mother and father didn't need the government to have me, and they didn't need the government to decide which was the best angle for me. And if y'all are sitting there watching y'all female family members ruin these children, because that's ultimately what they're doing. If y'all are sitting there watching these females utterly ruin, because they ain't doing a good job. I mean, we see the results, we see the statistics of black children and their inability to read properly. I mean, it's ridiculous out here at this point.
Can't count.
All right, this is the thing, y'all, because I don't want to jump the gun too much, because that's kind of what Ryan's doing right now. The thing is, black men need to be comfortable just actually dealing with the fact that the kids are theirs and actually standing up to a woman, which you have to do in order to get the kid tested. You're going to actually have to stand up to that woman. You see what I'm saying? So now, if you got men who are trained to stand up to women, you can create a lot of other good, positive results, because men ain't letting stuff go so much. Because one of our problems is we let too much stuff go. And then the thing is, I need to make sure that the kid is mine, so you don't die over a kid that ain't mine. Because for me, I'll kill you over my kid. I'm never going to take an attitude that I'm not going to kill you over my kid. I think that's called normal. You look anywhere in nature, any animal will kill you over their child.
That's protection, sir.
Exactly. So my thing is, I don't need to kill you over some kid that ain't even mine. What, that don't even make sense. Why put yourself in harm's way? And the thing is, if I establish rules for the family, it needs to be my family. If I'm the stepfather, that's cool. We can deal with that how we deal with it. But what you're definitely not gonna do is tell me how to run my family. So do you really want to get caught up in my wrath over a kid that wasn't even mine in the first place? Because you could lose your life over a child that wasn't even mine because you got me sitting here thinking that the child was mine. You see what I'm saying? You telling me what's gonna happen? Well, I'm finna leave or something like that, and I'm taking the kid with me. Now I literally take your life over taking a kid that was yours and not mine at all. Do you really want that to happen? Because it don't make sense at the end of the day. And I'm not saying men got to be violent or anything like that. Now I will be violent over mine if it's necessary.
We know what you're saying, Roger.
Yeah.
We know we get it. Yeah, we understand that part.
That wasn't for y'all. That was for the system.
Real. I don't want you to feel that. I want you to feel like you got to keep reading. We know. We right there with you, dog. Right there with you, dog.
So my thing is, this really needs to be our first responsibility, because regardless of what any of us say, what you think about women, what you think they did right, wrong, or whatever, we have enough information to know testing kids is just necessary at this point. It ain't about what we feel about it. It's necessary. It's far too many men raising a child that don't belong to them. Now, I'm not even tripping that they raising kids that don't belong to them, but they should be aware that the kid don't belong to them. Now, if you make that decision after you were made aware, that's on you at the end of the day. I respect men and respect men's decisions. And you need to know exactly how much authority you have, because my woman can't tell me what I can't do with my kid, but realistically, she can tell me what I can't do with her kid. I can't overstep that authority because it don't belong to me. Now, unfortunately for her, she don't get to be in a relationship with me unless she gives me that authority where I can overstep what she wants. But in reality, I can't do this without her permission. But I can also not be there because she won't give me permission. That's my choice to make. You know, and the thing is, men need to understand fully what their choices are. And if we understand our choices fully, then I bet a lot of the negative decisions will happen a whole lot less. And that's real talk.
It's always going to come down to authority, whether it's the biological father, because this is what the issues one of the issues. The biological doesn't have authority, and then the stepfather comes in, and the stepfather doesn't have any authority. Many of us have heard stories of black men who step in as stepfathers, and they're not given the authority to instill corporal punishment. You know, kids can say, "Hey, you ain't my daddy," to these dudes, and so it keeps coming back to this authority issue. And what this is really showing is that whether it's the biological or the stepfather, ultimately the females are able to run roughshod over their own broken family, um, and try to do it to biological first, and even do it to a stepfather, because ultimately that's where the problem is coming from. It's coming from the fact that the wrong person has the authority and are able to just do whatever they want to with no repercussions. And to me, that's really where it really devolves from. It devolves from the fact that the wrong person has the authority.
And see, I can wholeheartedly agree. Now I'm gonna say this, y'all, because I've said before in the past when I was younger, especially, I definitely used to deal with some single mothers. And I remember one young lady, uh, she had a kid, small child. So the child do something, I'm finna whip the child, right? Cause she my woman, so I'm dealing certain stuff with the child. Now she literally said to me, I can't whip her child, right? That was she said, right? So now I'm looking at her like she an idiot, cause how could you tell me something that dumb? So I break it down for her. I say, no, your child finna get a whooping. And she was like, well, no, that's my kid. I said, no, but you my woman, and you got your kid over here involved, so therefore your child needs a whooping, which means I'm finna do it. Because the child father ain't in the child's life. That's what you've been telling me the whole time. Okay? Well, yeah, but you're not the daddy. I say, well, so you got to get out then. She said, what you mean? I say, because if you gonna sit here and tell me that you're such a bad mother that you would be with a man and not trust that man to be able to discipline your child, you gotta go. Because I don't need a woman that's not a good mother. I don't understand how that helps me in any way. No, I am a good mom. You're not a good mom. If you don't trust the person you're with to discipline your child, there's no way in the world you can actually be a good mother. Because you just don't go together. You see what I'm saying? Now, that wasn't my kid. Y'all can say, well, that's not my choice to make. No, but it is my choice to make, to be with somebody who's intelligent or somebody who's not intelligent or somebody who believes in the stuff I believe in or somebody who's against the stuff I believe in. And if you by my definition, and I don't see how it can't be by yours either, if you got me in your kid's life and I can't discipline your child, you're a bad mother by default. Because those two things don't go together. If you can't trust me to discipline your child, why would you be with me?
I agree.
I do as well. So I, it'd be a lot of. You ever had your if you have your nieces and nephews or other people over to your house, and you can see behaviors, right? And kids, just how they behave and how they raise, right? Whether they've been baby, who got the men in their house, and you can tell who don't have men around in their house. I mean, you can see it. But when they come to your house, they straighten up, right? If you got some type of order, everybody know when they come through here,
Yep.
you already
Yep.
know what to do, or don't come over here, right? But if you
Yeah.
come over here,
Mr.
you already
Creator
know.
don't play.
Yeah,
Mr. Creator don't play over there at his house.
exactly.
Yeah.
So if this ain't what you want, right, then don't come over here, right? That's kind of how it is. But then go back home and fall right into them same. It's crazy. They gonna fall. It's like jumping on, just the same habits. That's the thing about a man, but not just men, that actually have purpose. You get what I'm saying? And you still need the man there, period. But boy, it's a lot greater when the men, move with purpose. And you could tell just the men being there. I mean, we talk when they pull up. Okay, it don't mean we all perfect. I got the OGs, as they be, they like slap you in the face with what they done did and showing you all the pictures. You know what I'm saying? And I entertain it. They're my boys and my guys. But when you go to their homes, man, it's a certain way you got to move. You know what I'm saying? As when we were younger, it was like, if you go over there, bro, you have math tests and you'll be moving lumber and it's just gonna be hell. But to us, it was fun because of the freedom that we got, being in that space, and the game that we got is just being around, real men, not just, men sitting around doing nothing. They got all the goodies we want, all the video games, all the goodies we wanted, all the shows we wanted to watch, all whatever it is we wanted, bro. And they was player about it. So yeah, to have that in their lives, to have that in your life is needed in our society, the sharing of what that even looked like. And then I think again, the women they'll just naturally pick that up. It's a choice. They have to put your kids in certain positions. You have to teach them kids to speak a certain language or a certain cuss word. This is deliberate parenting. It ain't good, but it's deliberate. No one just learns these words and these behaviors just on their own. They watching how does a 5-year-old know how to speak the Holy Ghost and dance at 5 years old? You see what I'm saying? It's deliberate parenting, but where is it going to lead them? So that's my point on that, man. Rock and roll, y'all.
And you know what? I think that's all well said and good too. And when you deal with this critical decision about what are we doing about who the child belongs to right from Jump Street, it gets a lot of other stuff in order without having to argue so much or having to have so many different discussions. Because guess what, gentlemen? This will show you if your woman submits to you or not. So you can talk that submission game, but when it's time to do something, you got to show it. If you're going to be with me, my kids get tested. That's it. If you're going to claim the child mine, the child getting tested. I don't care what no woman has to say about trust. I don't care what she's trying to say about what our relationship is or isn't. No, this is the job. It's in the job description. To be with me, if you ever claim that you are pregnant by me, I say, I ain't worried about the one when you don't claim is mine. But if you claim that baby come from me, that child getting tested. It's that simple at the end of the day. And if that's something you can't handle, you don't need to be messing with me like that.
It shouldn't even be an argument in 2020 now and beyond, to be quite frank. It shouldn't even be a debate.
I'm gonna broaden the point out to a community standpoint. Let's just say, and I don't want to demonize a woman. I'm just using this as an example. Let's just say a woman slept around with 4 guys in a time period in which she got pregnant, right? 4 guys, and she calls guy number 1 and says, "Hey, I'm pregnant by you." And he says, "Okay, when the baby's born, I'm gonna get the baby tested before I sign the birth certificate." And she like, "Dang, okay. I was just trying to call him because he made the most money. Let me call dude number 2. He all right too." Dude number 2 say, same thing. "Hey, when the baby's born, we're gonna get the baby tested. We're gonna go from there." She's like, "Oh, man, I gotta call Gloctavius now. Hey, Gloctavius, I was pregnant by you." Even Gloctavius is saying, "Yeah, we're gonna get that baby tested. I don't know. I know you've been out here in the streets and you were messing around on old boy with me, so I don't know." Now she down to dude number 4 who hit it on the one night stand. He's saying the same thing. Bro, this gonna straighten out so many situations, bro. When we all move in the same way, no matter how we encounter this woman. When they start finding out, oh, we can't run that game like that no more. These Negroes are serious. No matter what stage and age they are in life, they serious about this now. Bro, you gonna start at the truth with these women and then decide how you gonna move from there. It's a great origin point to start with these children. Don't sign no birth certificate until you get a DNA test. I don't care who she is.
Yep. You could be married to her. You could have been married to her for 20 years, but if y'all got a new baby coming up, hey, just do what you got to do. But you ain't never did this for the other ones. Baby, you probably ain't heard it, but there's new rules out here. It's new rules out here. Yeah, we got married years ago, but there's new rules out here. The new ones got to get tested because I have to do this as a responsible member of the community. This ain't even about her. This is about a black man having the integrity to do his black community responsibility where ain't nobody looking, y'all. Because I'm saying this is a responsibility for black men as part of dealing with the community.
Yep.
I ain't got to tell y'all everything, but if I don't do it, I know I'm shirking my duty.
And this
You see what
also
I'm saying?
allows the men to deal with themselves in honesty. Hey man, you been knocking off my old girl, man. Yeah, man. Now they get to have an honest conversation.
That does increase value, right? Honesty is it, you know what I'm saying? You honest about it. You got to confront it, and if you can confront it without violence, right, that increases
Yep.
value. So now you got some
So
preparation to do. Both of y'all, if
yeah,
y'all intend on moving forward, me personally, boy, that's a whole nother conversation.
and I'm not saying that's every woman, but if that happens enough, hopefully these women will get the understanding. Hey man, these dudes ain't playing out here. Hey, we can't be rolling like this no more.
Well, my thing is, we totally remove it from the women. What we're doing ain't got nothing to do with women. This got something to do with us as men. As
That's right.
men, we're having our children tested. We're not telling women who they can and can't have sex with, but we having our children tested. It is what it is. Now, if you have sex with one guy, two guys, 39 guys, we having our kids tested. And y'all, yes, somebody could be a virgin. You could be with this virgin. This virgin may come up pregnant. Do you get your virgin? You was the only one she ever been with. Do she
You
got to
get
get
your
her baby
child
tested
tested.
too? Yes, she got to
Yes.
get hers tested too.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I
Because
agree,
it's a
brother.
policy. It's a
Yeah.
policy, and you're gonna pass that down to your son. Son, I know you, my son, because this is the policy within this family, within this community.
Nah,
This
Pa,
is how
man.
we
I know
move.
it's mine, Pa. I know it's mine, man.
No, partner, we going down there together. I know you feeling some kind of way. She might be talking crazy to you, but no, I'm going down there with you. We gonna make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
I
And,
agree. It's deeper, especially
and,
as grandparents. You know what I'm saying? And you know how the moms are, boy. They be, oh man, it'd be almost destroyed to find out that you know what I mean.
well,
Hey,
one thing is we got to remove people's feelings from the situation because there are some people who gonna take it one way, and there's gonna be people who take it another way. We're removing everybody's feelings from the situation. This is just policy. For me to be a black man, this is just something I must adopt. Now, if you're gonna consider yourself a good black man, you just adopt the policy, and that's it. If you're not gonna adopt the policy, you ain't that good of a black man. Because at the end of the day, you're being selfish and you putting your needs before this child's need, and the child cannot protect itself, and you can. Don't be like these women. They care about themselves and do whatever's good for them, and say screw how it affects this child who cannot protect itself. See, you can't ever
Right.
say nothing bad about no woman if you're gonna put yourself in doing the same thing. The child can't protect itself from none of us. So I'm just gonna make sure this child has a chance at finding out who their real daddy is. Because if it's me, it's me. we done confirmed it's me. Ain't nothing to talk about. Everything's great. And if it ain't me, I got to give this child a chance. I can't force it because once you find out it's not your baby, the dynamic changes. That's on the mama. But I can put the mama in position to at least have to call Glocktavius up if it happens to be Glocktavius' baby. Or it could be Ramon's baby. It may be Ramon. Ramon may have a good job. Ramon may be working down in corporate America. He just don't know. He had a one night stand. He just don't know. And that child may be getting a whole lot more right away because Ramon hit it one time and he just, unfortunately for him, from his perspective, he got some random chick pregnant. But I bet Ramon gonna take his responsibility, and Ramon may get to raise his child in some mansion somewhere. Who knows? Or he might be on the 35th floor downtown, nice skyline and everything, beautiful place. Kid might get in private school just because we found out it's Ramon's baby.
Well, within the next 20 years, Ramon has some kids, usually by then they all will be, and we'll have data. We'll know who Ramon is. So Ramon ain't got to even worry about it. You know what I'm saying? We'll be able to be like, bloop. Well, yeah, that's Ramon, y'all.
Well, my thing is though, there's a negative side to the government being that invasive in the average person's life. There is a negative side, and black men will have babies put on them that don't belong to us once the government has control. That's why it's not good for us to give government control. We don't need government control. You can take your own child to get DNA tested right now. And somebody even said they changed the law saying that the mom has to be there because it's the mom's child. Well, guess what? If she ain't gonna go, you already know what you need to know. What I need to argue about a woman for if I'm saying we finna go get this child tested. If I actually need the woman to sign off on the paperwork and she won't sign off on the paperwork, she already telling you about herself.
It should be zero argument about anything. Zero pushback about anything. You should be cooperative 100% and excited.
Mm-hmm. And again, y'all, it ain't even about her. This is about policy of black men. And some of y'all gonna need that to help you because you're gonna be scared of that woman. And I get it. I'm not even tripping about it. Look, you owe black men this responsibility. Because what if that is my kid and you don't know that it ain't your kid? What if it is mine? Do I want you raising my child? No. I don't care who you is. I don't know you. I want to raise my child. It's that simple at the end of the day. So what about me? I want to raise my own kid. I don't need somebody raising my child and then dropping some kid in my door at 17 years old and say, yeah, this is your kid. We just found out. I don't want that. I want to raise my own child. So what about the other black men? You see, a lot because women have trained us to think in certain ways. We always coming from this negative perspective. This ain't got to be nothing negative. If I want to raise my child, I got to be able to find out the child belongs to me. And if you sitting there thinking the child yours, you ain't gonna never tell me that's my child. So how the child gonna get to me?
But Roger,
go ahead.
You sound like you hate your mama. Don't you? There's so much anger in what you're saying, Roger. Why you so
that's
mad?
a good point.
I'm angry because I want to raise my child.
That's a good point, though.
What
if this control you want to, again, not even on no vindictive, trying to be revengeful or nothing. Just I don't want to be with you, but that's my child. You know what I'm saying? I want to first know that that's mine, because if it is, yeah, you're gonna some men do embrace fatherhood. I think that's where we at. They really do embrace fatherhood, but I really don't want to embrace you, but I will embrace the situation.
It's not what Roger said.
Knowing that this is mine.
It's not what Roger said. It's how he says it. It's his tone. I don't like his tone.
Yeah. What tone am I supposed to use if I find out you've been raising my child for 15, 16, 17 years and I don't even know this kid exists? What tone am I supposed to have at that point?
You sound angry, Roger.
You know what? That will make. You know what?
Shit.
You know what? If I find out you've been raising my child and my child 13, 14, 15, and I'm just finding out this kid exists, I'm gonna be angry.
Boy, that is your
Anger
right.
gonna be an extremely light word when I find out this kid been raised all these years without my influence. Trust me, you're gonna have to worry about more than anger at that point. You know,
Yeah.
because I don't even know what I'm gonna do to you at that point. What is kid 13, but I ain't want to tell you. So y'all been putting stuff in my kid's head since 13 for 13 years, and you just not bringing them to me. This ain't going. This ain't going over well. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna get my kid, and I'm gonna do right by my kid. But I'm telling you, that mama finna have some hell to pay.
And it's
That's
not
real
a
talk.
crime.
You know, it's gonna be some hell to pay about that one.
Nah, what you should do is go to the males in the family and have a sit down and ask them, did any of them know about this situation, and look them dead in their faces, in their eyes, and see what the response is. And if you get the inkling that they knew about this, bring the pain. See, I'm for the old order of things, because that's more indicative of where it needs to be. And the truth of the matter is is that me personally, this is just me. I'm for the interest of the black man first and foremost. I don't give a damn about anybody else's feelings and all of that type of stuff. I don't care about all that shit. I don't care. Is it in the interest of this black man? Is it in the interest of this black man as a father? If I say no, then I ain't gonna support it. Period. Point blank. Because if y'all ain't looking at him as the authority, then what are we talking about? I mean, we're talking about females who get pregnant by a dude, lie about it. They ain't even had the baby yet. They go out here, get another boyfriend, start having sex while they're pregnant with this fucking kid. And these things, I'm sorry, man. Y'all daughters are hoes, man. Y'all got to do better than this, man. Like you got to come better than this for black men. Like, cause
Right.
what this conversation really is saying is that, man, there's a lot of broken black families out here who ain't got no standard when it comes to their daughters. Like, they just let them just be out here just doing God knows what in the street, to the point that we even have to say, damn, we're at a point where we got to get the. I'm not saying I'm against it, I'm for it, but I'm saying, damn, y'all just let these damn girls just run in the street like they some niggas. Man, that's a problem,
Wait,
dog. That's a
wait,
whole
wait a
problem.
minute, right? Wait a minute, Rael. You ain't never fed the baby before.
Say that again.
You ain't never fed the baby before. Don't act
Oh
like you
hell
ain't never
nah.
fed the baby before. Don't
I
act
done
like
did.
that.
No,
Your fault.
no, 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 no.
I think Rael lying, man. He hesitated when he
Nah,
answered.
nigga. Nah, I don't lie like that. Dude, I don't lie about shit like that. Never. Never. I don't get down like that. Nope. No sir. No sir. A bitch like that to me is nasty as fuck, dog. That is not a turn on for me. I do not. I do not. I'm gonna do black men enough of a solid. I ain't gonna even do them like that. I'm not gonna even engage like that. I got too much respect for black men. It ain't about the chick. It's about the respect that I have for black men. So I ain't
You,
gonna even.
you
I ain't
got
gonna even do it like
you
that.
got you got some dudes out here, boy. They found out your woman pregnant, boy. They had her.
I
They had
know.
her.
I'm just saying. But again, that's what I'm saying. Like the fact that, do you know how wild you have to be and how much rules you don't have on you for a female to be pregnant and be able to still be in the streets and still get fucked on? Do you know how out of pocket and out of order that motherfucker is? That's a lot of females. Matter of fact, I remember being on Facebook in a Facebook group where this conversation came up, and there were a lot of black females in the group co-signing being able to do that. Well, you know, if you and a baby daddy break up, then what you supposed to do? You supposed to just be there and be by yourself? Yeah, bitch, you are. You're supposed to be. You're supposed to be focusing on the health of your child. But the fact that that was actually something that they argued openly for, it just showed me like, hey man, we really need to really be aware of what's going on because we got a lot of, I hate to say it, man, but we got a lot of genetic mutants out here, man. There's some shit out here, man. Like, it's some crazy shit going on. And so we got to really be careful. This is one of the things that Bill Cosby was bringing attention to in his pound cake speech when he was talking about, like, the possibility of siblings who don't even know that they're siblings fucking on each other because there's so much, you know what I'm saying, you know, out of wedlock shit going on in these environments, and everybody's being quiet. Everybody's being quiet. You know, well, the females are, and then a lot of times their broken families are co-signing that shit. I've heard black men even talk about meeting chicks and saying, "Yo, man, I found out later, man, that chick had 5 kids, man, with 5 different dudes, and her family knew, and they were hiding it from me. They were actually participating in it." So that's why I keep bringing it back, man. I know a lot of times, man, we talk about shit on the macro, but man, that's why I bring it back to the micro, because at the foundational level, that shit starts with their family or broken family, and either there are some rules on her head, which is what this is all about, basically saying like, you know, this is gonna be a rule set that black men have to enforce, not just to protect themselves, but to protect other black men too, moving forward.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm doing the show. Because if y'all been rocking with me for a while, y'all know I done lost channels, and this show that I've done before don't exist. So no, I'm gonna put it back up. I'm gonna put it back up because this, you know, it's unfortunate that we have to deal with this, but it is a reality that we have to deal with this, and we got to look both ways before we cross the street. Now, shout out to Yogami. Appreciate your super chat, my brother. He says, Roger super chat, grand return. And great show. Appreciate you saying that, my brother. Appreciate you saying that. So, look, my thing is this. Y'all can look at this in a lot of different ways. And I know Kryptonian was joking earlier about you know, we must hate the women or something like that. No, we got to do this because it done became necessary. When you find out that 20, 30, 40% of children may not belong to the person they think it belongs to, you're starting to get off into other things that can create a whole lot of problems in society. We got to do what we got to do. It's that simple at that point. It's just we simply got to do what we got to do. Okay? And shout out to, I believe this is Elder Blood platform. He says, congratulations. Now, that can't be Elder Blood. I don't know who that. I don't think that's Elder Blood, but thank you,
That's
platform.
me, brother.
Oh, okay. I'm finna say
me. I got you.
All right, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Real talk, real talk. Okay. Thank you very much, y'all. It's hard to hold on to. Well, it was hard, y'all. This is gonna be the last channel, hopefully. That's what we're gonna say. This is gonna be the last channel, hopefully. I gotta restart stuff and do stuff over again. But I'm doing this again because it is extremely important. And again, see, a lot of people, even on social media, they want to argue with women all day long, but they don't want to just do something different. So it doesn't make a difference what she's talking about. We have the technology available to us. And since it's available to us, we got to use it. It doesn't make a difference what she says. I'm getting all my kids tested. That's just what the rule is. I can be married for 30 years. That last baby still getting tested. It's that simple at the end of the day. If you're a person who's been married for a long time and y'all have what people refer to as that oops baby, where that baby came, but you ain't had a baby in like 10 years, because that does happen every blue moon. Test that oops baby. Not for your wife, okay? Not even for yourself. Test it for black men, period. I'm saying this is our responsibility. This is a community responsibility for every black man. Community responsibility. Are you gonna shirk your duties to the community? Because see, it's different when you can shirk something that only affects you, but that's only you, and everybody ain't seeing it. But when you start shirking responsibility that deals with the community, that's a little bit different. See, you could be at home and your house dirty as I don't know what, but when you step outside, the grass cut. You got everything people can see in pristine order. Okay, everything that people can see is in pristine order. We may walk in your house, it may look like an absolute mess, but at least the stuff outside, it look good. We ain't prying, so we cool with it. Now, what you doing that only hurts you is one thing, but what you doing that hurts everybody else is another thing. And what if you out there, not saying it happened to me personally, but it happened to somebody. What if you out there raising my child because you wouldn't take the time out to see if the child was yours? And now when something finally come out, my child already 15 years old. You think I'm gonna appreciate the fact that you had my child in custody for 15 years and I don't even know my child exists? You really think I'm gonna be happy about that? You know, a lot of times we don't think about the other people's shoes the way we should. Okay? Or we listen to women say a bunch of stuff where it don't matter the child was raised right. I will punch you square in your jaw. Tell me something like that. It don't matter. You done had my kid for 15 years and you ain't and nobody checked nothing. And you think I'm supposed to take that as cool and as good? Well, at least you ain't had to do this when he was a baby. I'm gonna be ready to stomp you out. I ain't saying I'm gonna do it, but I would be ready to stomp you out to tell me my child is 15 years old and you just not bringing this to my attention. Now, don't get into it. I'm happy for any father who get a hold of their kid, even if it's been a long time. But I'm telling you, I might be joyful I get the kid, but I'm gonna be angry at you, and that's for sure. You know, and don't expect me to be nice to you.
Roger, Roger,
Go ahead, brother.
is that how your mama raised you? To not have any sympathy for them little children? Hmm? So you're going to invest physically, emotionally, financially in a child for 10 years. And then later on, you find out through some BS test that the child is not yours. You don't even know if the test is accurate. And you're just going to pack up and leave that poor child behind. You're going to look that child in the eye and say, I'm going to leave because I'm not your daddy. Mhm.
Yeah.
You are heartless.
You
I
you
don't
got
think your mama would be proud of you, Roger.
I'm
you got to get a real father opportunity to be there. You got to leave the door open for it, man.
But
okay.
you've been there. But you've been there for 10 years.
Okay.
What's 8 more years?
This is where my experience with single mothers is gonna come in handy. You know, when I left the single mother, you know who also got left?
The
The
single
kid.
child.
There you go. There you go. It is what it is, man. Your child got the benefit from because we was in a relationship. The relationship had to come to an end. Your child lost benefit. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I ain't got
And
time to be regretting everything I do in life. I ain't got time for that.
he gave her 10 years she wouldn't have normally got.
So you got a
Mm.
strong, you have a strong arm way of doing things. I know what I'm talking about. And then you got a soft arm way of doing things. And that way that she would pull would be considered a soft arm way of doing things, regardless. Because especially if that individual knew all this time, that's intent. It's like malice. And it's crazy that there's not. I guess I don't know how you could prove it, but that's nuts.
But
Because
but
in
but
some
but you,
cases, this is literally happening right now. So just to evade all of that, I agree. It should be culturally accepted that soon as that baby come out, you should even have the right to go ahead and do it beforehand if possible.
y'all know that
No wonder.
Glactavius don't have any money. So Glactavius put a baby in her, and she gonna give the baby to Glactavius. What
If
is the
she
baby gonna eat? Huh?
if she
Who
can
gonna
fund
feed
the
the baby?
baby, no. If she can fund Octavius' relationship, she can fund a DNA test. Because there are women who like to mess with dudes who won't go to work. You know what I'm saying? And they pay for the dates and all that other type of stuff. That does happen. So if she can fund the relationship, she can fund the DNA test. Everything
Yeah,
will
but,
be fine.
we both know that the baby is Glactavius' baby. Okay,
No.
Glactavius Junior. Who gonna
Gloctavius don't
feed
know that
Glac?
baby get tested. But Gloctavius don't know that if she
Roger,
messing with Gloctavius, she willing to mess with anybody.
let me finish. All right. Galactavius Jr. is born. Okay, Galactavius Jr. is here already. Okay, but Galactavius Senior ain't got no money to feed the baby. But you happen to have a good job. You have a good income. You got a nice 401k. You got a nice car. You got a nice crib. So you're gonna be daddy by default. Galactavius cannot feed the child. You know what I mean? The
Yes,
best
he can.
Galactavius can the best Galactavius can do for the child is show the child how to smoke weed, how to roll a blunt. You know, you're gonna take the child to summer school. You're gonna pay for sport for the child. You're gonna turn this little child into a good citizen.
Glock,
Glactavius,
Glock, Gloctavius is still alive, right?
Wait,
what I
if
told
he
you.
if he gonna show him to smoke weed, he got to be alive.
Okay, so if Gloctavius still alive, all he got to do is split his meals with the child. What's the problem?
Come on, guys.
He
Y'all can't be
eating?
so heartless. Y'all
He
can't
I
be so
mean,
eating?
heartless, gentlemen.
Gloctavius is eating, and he's strong enough to teach a person how to roll some weed. I mean, he got he got some strength in there somewhere, brother. Based on your example.
See?
When he go to McDonald's and get that number two, just tell him cut it in half.
So
What's the
so
problem?
so y'all ain't pro black no more, huh?
A half a Big Mac is a half a Big Mac. What are you talking about, brother?
You're no longer pro black community anymore. You ain't gonna
Bro,
save the community. So
fries
do
are
y'all
This is
know?
made.
for
Fries are
Do y'all
made to
know?
share.
Do y'all
Fries are
know that
made to share.
do y'all know that when y'all have those mentality, you're really hurting black women?
no. You see, you weren't
Share.
listening at the beginning of the
Wait a
show.
minute.
We were
Share.
saying this is for the black women. This is to take the stress off of them of trying to find out who the baby daddy is, because it's stressful for them when they don't know. It's stressful. We are removing the stress from them. We're saying, baby, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out.
As a person who like to eat, if you gonna tell me sharing the number three at McDonald's is not love, I don't know what to tell you, brother. Because I don't share my meal. Okay, if I'm gonna sit there and share number three, because you claiming this kid is mine, you know what I'm saying? Okay, cool, bro. I need that test though. I'm still gonna need that test. Okay, you know what? Your mama say you mine. You can have some of these fries, but we gonna go get this test. That's just what it is. And shout out to my main man, Tunnel Runner, who said DNA tests are cheaper overseas. 50% cheaper. Well, y'all, maybe you want to go overseas to get your DNA test. Or maybe you want to worry about having it with a woman who is already overseas. And you can save yourself some bread. Okay? You can save yourself some bread. But at the end of the day, man, if I'm willing to share my number three, okay, you can't tell me I ain't a good daddy. Because I ain't never shared my number three. Now, I don't even know what the number three is, but I know I ain't never shared one. I do know that. Well, maybe back in the high school days, maybe possibly, but we was a lot broker. But you know, I ain't too quick to do it. I'm just saying, I ain't too quick to do it. And shout out to LS Active again. He said the pushback MP Hero MP Hero Clark got in Jamaica for trying to introduce DNA testing at birth was foul. Assume they're all scandalous and swab that cheek. Now I did hear some certain news about what was going on with Jamaicans and DNA testing, but I'm not Jamaican. All I can say is Jamaicans, if you have the power to get your kid tested, I would take that
Man,
on. I don't know how exactly work over there in Jamaica, but uh, if you in America, I know in America you can get your kid tested. All I'm saying is
they
do
fin they finna lose a third of their population if they in that DNA tested down there.
it.
Hey,
Man,
Roger, you know they shut it down in France because they said there's gonna be too much trouble for
oh yeah,
society.
Yeah.
France say
France was
no.
like, no, just throw the whole thing away. France said throw the whole test away.
Matter of fact, France say if you attempt to test the child, you going to jail.
Exactly. That's illegal. You can't even man, let us find out you testing babies out here. You ain't gonna speak French no more because it ain't gonna be we going to jail. It's gonna be you. And shout out to Bucket. He says, "Would you share your White Castle, Roger?" Well, if it's my kid, yes, I would. I will say that, y'all. I get the large fish nuggets, and I get Junior some fish nuggets, man. If it's my kid. Now, if we don't know that it's my kid, maybe I give him a 6-piece chicken ring until we find out what the results are.
There you go. There you go.
You know, because my thing is, don't get too attached to kids that ain't yours unless you really want to be there, and that's real talk.
And Roger, you got to give him the chicken because he might be allergic to the fish. He ain't yours.
That's why we got to get tested.
That's right. That's right. That's why you got to get tested to be safe.
I'm gonna say if it's my boy, he shouldn't be allergic to nothing. So you know what I'm saying? He can get what he wanted. I'm paying for it. You can get what you want to get. He shouldn't be allergic to nothing. Now you tell me allergic to something. Now I got to figure out what's going on in family history because I've been blessed. You know, there's a lot of medical conditions I have no clue of because that just ain't running. It ain't running in my family. I come from a very best family. Ain't too many allergies going on. Ain't too many allergies going on. So if you mind, you should be a good healthy ox. Real talk.
There, there is no logical explanation for not getting your child tested. No logical
Yeah.
explanation.
And my thing is, I understand as men, you as an individual, you have to deal with hurting your woman's feelings. So I'm gonna say this:
Yeah.
if you're in a relationship with a woman now, start talking to her about it now before you end up getting her pregnant. Because you might end up getting her pregnant in 2-3 months down the road. Maybe y'all really rock together. Y'all get married. Maybe you get her pregnant a year and a half from now. Start talking about this stuff now. This should be beginning of the relationship information. Not we've been together and rocking for 6 months and now I feel no. This should be beginning.
No, that's a first date conversation. That's
Real
the
talk.
first date conversation.
But Benjamin, why is your sole objective is to hurt a woman's feelings? I do not understand that. Why would you want to hurt her precious feeling like that?
I don't even understand the connection to a woman's feelings to what we said. I don't even get the connection. You got to explain that to me. How is looking out for the baby's best interest hurting a woman's feelings?
Mhm. Well, for the record, for the record, I'm going to say this for the record, okay? I'm trying. I'm trying, black women, my queens. I'm trying. Okay, it's these hard-headed Negroes who don't want to save you. You see, they claim that instead of doing right by you and Glactavius Jr., that you should instead take Glactavius Jr. to his father, Glactavius Sr. And the only thing Glactavius Sr. can do for the child is to teach him how to roll some weed and how to sling dope. And these guys, they said they would rather you take this poor, innocent soul, this innocent child who has done nothing wrong to anyone, than just exist. They claim that you should take that child to Glactavius Sr. and have Octavius turn that innocent into a menace for society. They would rather destroy that poor child's future over petty shit called genetics. You see, black women, I'm on your side. Can I get some pussy now?
And shout out to Yoga Man. He said, "Don't you trust the woman?" Hey y'all, it's nothing wrong with trusting, but trust can be verified. That's all we saying. Trust can be verified. And I'm gonna say shout out to LS Active because I'm proud of you for this one, brother. I'm so proud of you. He said, "I told my girl when we first met, of course, she tried to push back, but who cares? Don't like it, leave." And see, that's what I'm talking about, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. It's not about trying to show out. It's not about trying to be hardcore. We just got to set the table. And once the woman sit at that table, that's on her at the end of the day. So he done told her, look, if you start talking about, I got you pregnant, babies will be tested. It just is what it is. Babies will be tested. If she don't like it, she can leave. That's available. Okay, it is an available option, y'all. But real talk, because I'm gonna wrap this up. We at the 3 hour mark. If we gonna make stuff better as men, we got to do certain things that's gonna make the situation improve. And unfortunately, in 2025, we've seen enough of Maury Povage's show where he said, "You're not the father." We done seen enough. Probably Ricky Lake too probably did it, where they said you are not the father. I don't necessarily remember from Ricky Lake. I definitely remember some stuff from who's that? Jenny Jones had a show. You are not the father. We got a show going on right now, Paternity Court, where you are not the father. There's so much out here where you are not the father comes up, man. It's just necessary at this point. New information means new decisions sometimes. And that's all it is to it. So look, I love the women. I do love them. And out of love, we gonna find out who this baby belonged to in the beginning instead of later. Because the penalty is a lot softer in the beginning than if you tell me 15 years down the road, this baby ain't yours. That ain't gonna go over that smooth. And that's real talk. So because I love women, I'd rather you tell me in 15 minutes that ain't my kid, or 15 hours that ain't my kid, than telling me 15 years later that ain't my kid. So let's just go and find out in the beginning, and everything will get a lot smoother. And shout out to Sarah. She said Jerry Springer. Yep, it happened on Jerry Springer too, y'all. It was a bunch of talk shows that we saw. You are not the father. Now Maury kind of famous for it, but it happened on a lot of people's shows. So at the end of the day, we got to move accordingly. And the only way to move accordingly with this information is just to make sure all these newborns get tested, because it's good for them, it's good for the mother, and it's good for us. So have some integrity about yourself as a black man and do what's good for everybody. Real talk. That's pretty much it, y'all. We out of here. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.